Yes, you can tell I hit a button. That was all my fault. That was all my fault, y'all. I'm so sorry. I hit the wrong button. My tablet died and I was switching over to my cell phone and I was trying to just exit out on the tablet, but I hit leave and it left the whole damn. Okay. I don't know why it says leave. It should say shut shit down or something because that's what it did. So sorry. Let's get those shares back up real quick. If you shared it before, can you please share part two? I'm going to do the same thing right now. And Mr. Robinson is back with us. He looked like he eating. I'm going to give you a minute. Stay back there. I see you. Nobody can see me but you. Get your snack on real quick. We're going to get these shares out so we can get this room back full for you and finish because I know a lot of people are looking around like, where are they? And you guys go ahead. Share, share, share. Hello again, Jenica, Tracy, my love, Quinto, the family. They will find their way back. I don't wanna leave too many people behind. So I know they were trying to keep up with where we were in the report. Oops, I hit the wrong ticker. We love our babies, our Cal City boys too, but there we go. $20 challenge, $20, $20. That's all we're asking. Anytime you get it, just go to please help find Daniel.com and help this family keep David boots on the ground. As we can see, something not right, and the police report says it. Thank you, DeQuinto. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Let me put it back on my community wall. And we'll get started regardless in a minute, but I was just trying to give everybody a minute to figure out what the heck happened. Definitely operator error. That's what they call that. Where is it? YouTube. Hey y'all. Welcome back. Welcome back. Come on in and share and like and share. Put it back in the algorithm. Need everybody to know we are here and we're talking about Daniel. He's still missing. Buckeye Police Department doesn't think there's foul play, so they're not looking. So his dad has to do it all. He needs an army. Lucky for him, we are an army. Aurora, you made it back. Hello, long time no see. I know, right? It's a long, short story. I messed it up. I messed it up. I hit the wrong button. He's throwing batteries over here trying to die on me. Quinto said, every time I clean my house, these great chats come up. Oh, well, life goes on, right? Yep. I know what you mean. I love it. It's better on the TV anyway for me. I mean, you can't really chat the same. You got to have a different device, but I like everything on the big screen. Everything. Some of my moderators haven't even found their way back. John Q. Everybody's just lost right now. They say, what the hell? Okay, let me see. How's everybody's day going out there? Oh, I got it. T. Sophia. Hey, babe. Welcome back. The 930 is a major discrepancy with another part of that report. It needs to be addressed later with you guys. Okay. The 9:30. There he is. John's here. Adoptionscams.com is here. Okay, Ginger Snap. They're finding you, David. Sorry, y'all. John Q did it. It wasn't me. Certainly wasn't me. Beautiful. I just want to give everybody time to get back in here because we are still going. Oh, come on with the VUR.FYI. We don't want any. Can somebody grab that spam? I'm not logged into YouTube just yet. Hello, Gloria, my love. Always good to see you. Hello, hello. Oh my God, they hit us twice. Oh, I can't see. Maybe somebody got it. Please, moderator, get that junk out of here. You have an expensive keyboard. Does it hook up to so that you can chat while you're watching your TV? Is that what you're saying, DeQuinto? That's cool. Oh my God, I would love that. I don't think John is hiding. I see him. Thank you, Renegade. Please help find Daniel. Please sign the petition. Again, reminder, the GoFundMe is such a big deal because his expenses are so darn high because he's having to pay for everything. No one is helping. The departments, the powers that be, they are turning their heads in another direction. They told him, you're doing good. You got this. And your son, he's grown. Probably just wanted to be a monk. Good luck. Bye-bye. I don't even think they said bye-bye. Like, seriously, it's not an exaggeration. This is how they've treated him. And all he wants is help to find his son. Me, I would be in Buckeye's jail right now from slapping the taste out of somebody's mouth. And that's real talk. Be like, when I get out, I'm going to find my son. But I'm telling you, it pisses me off. It's not right. We shouldn't have to beg for the help that they committed to give us. They have the funds, they have the resources, they have the manpower. Why won't they help? So if you got to do it on your own, you do it on your own. You find your baby. I'm with this. John Q said the cell phone forensics should be the first item examined at this time. It holds a lot of, let me put it up, the answers to who was in direct contact with Daniel. Let's do it. Yeah, I agree. We need to know. Not to mention the pings. Good Lord. I don't know. I asked David yesterday a couple times. I said, what was it that they needed? Blood? And I was really serious. I'm like, what do they need? Because all this mysterious, suspicious, foul looking stuff is not foul play to them for some reason. So what do they need? Do you really have to bleed? Damn. And the absence of blood in this case should be foul enough. Oh, Lord. She done got on her soapbox. My bad, y'all. I'm just like, it's not okay. It's not okay. Nobody should have to beg for help. Resources that are readily available to another family for whatever reason, yeah, really takes me to a place. So, as Randy was saying, sign the petition for all the reasons I just mentioned, please. And then if you missed it, well, I guess I could do this while we wait. We got almost everybody back, but let me, one more time, I'm gonna turn on this camera. and show off my Daniel Robinson hoodie. Yeah, yeah. See, I gotta get closer. So pink is my favorite color, so that's why this is pink. But I love this image. And the way I explained it to David was that this was, us shining the light up. And then we have Daniel's name in the light, like a Batman symbol, a signal, that he would send out. Because we're looking for him. And y'all know I don't make merch that doesn't mean anything. So let me show you the back end because our connection was interrupted. Oh, y'all can see that. I got a big old thingy on the screen. Hold on. Did y'all see the front? Turn around. Can you see that? It's hard to do this backwards. I do. To do important things in this life because we only get one at the end of the day. Bring this back. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Quinto de love to Sophia. Yeah, I think they call it, I call it like magenta, hot pink, something like that. They have another name for it. I love it. And we got all kinds of this. And of course, other than the fact that you spread awareness and put Daniel's face all over this world, hopefully, um, 100% of the profits go to the family's GoFundMe. So if you're the kind of person that likes to give but wants a little something in return, then there you go. Buy a nice warm hoodie. There's a beautiful mug with Daniel on it. It's amazing. It's a beautiful mug. I have mugs, so many mugs, and I don't even drink out of them. I drink out of like a thermal, those, the ones that stay hot forever. But I buy the mugs and I just have them sitting up, and it's beautiful. So, so that's how you can support this family. Sign the petition, donate to the GoFundMe, buy the merch, which the profits go to the GoFundMe. And if you're on Facebook, there is a Facebook fundraiser that you will find via my group, Just Justice. Now, we're going to get back to the meat and potatoes. Do you remember what you were saying, David, before I broke it?
I'm glad to be back.
Thank you. I'm so
That's,
sorry.
oh no, no, no. We all human. Those things happen. And hello, what's that? Leslie B.
Leslie
Hello to
B.
you too.
That's my girl.
And De Quinto. How you say that? There's thank you. Hello to you also. Hope I say your name correctly.
I say De Quinto. You say De Quinto, tomato, tomato.
That's right.
um, we've got we've got pretty much the crew back that was with us. I didn't want to leave anybody behind and jump back into that report and they come in and we on page 40 or something. So
That's right.
we were just about at 30, so I think we're okay to jump back in. So, wait a minute. Just call you D or Day. See, we still confused over here.
What's that?
The Quinto said just call me DE. I don't know if it's D or Day.
That's right.
D?
D. Day.
D. I think
D.
D. Last name is Quinto. Got it. You sound like me. First name Q, last name Carla.
That's right. Yes.
So somebody asked me, like, well, what does that mean? I'm like, it's my name. I mean, it means it's me.
Make a big deal out of it.
Yeah, no. I kept it real simple, honey. You know, you get to a certain age in life, and it's just like, I'm good with me all the way around. And it's a different age for everybody. But, honey, I have achieved that, and I mean it. So, yeah, I'm
Right.
just cute. And it's a beautiful thing. I worked hard to get here. Shit.
That's right.
Thank you for the love. All right. So I know I paused it right at his employer. You want me to replay that part so you can remember? Because you were making a point.
I probably still remember.
You still, so don't, so you got it? Go ahead.
I believe so. I believe I have it.
Okay, go for it. Take us where we were.
All right.
Or did I
Oh,
misunderstand? You want me, you want
yeah,
me
I
to play?
misunderstood. Yeah, just go ahead and play it. Yes.
Okay.
I'll catch it.
We're going to work it out. It's okay. All right, let me put it back on. Share screen is there. Okay. I'm going to mute out.
All right, there we go. I'm learning how to
Him back
multitask.
the outcome of my investigation. I told Kevin to call the police if Daniel contacted him or if Daniel's whereabouts were known. Kevin said
Okay.
he would.
Okay, what I was talking about earlier before we end up getting disconnected, they put 9:30 there, right?
Yes.
And that is, I don't know if that's a typo.
A
Like I
short
said,
time
this
after ending
officer.
my contact with Kevin, I received
Oh, that's
Sorry.
okay. No, that's okay. But you know, the initial story is that my son was there around roughly at 9 o'clock. But now they're saying that the story is he got there at 9:30. So you know, so we have to try to make sure they're accurate on if you put something in the report. You know, you have to make sure that you're accurate. So, like I said, they took some things and they took my statement or my daughter's statement and say my son was in love with a woman he didn't know.
Right.
I don't know if they did the same thing with this timeline stuff, but if this guy gave them two different stories and it was accurate, then that's a problematic, you know. So this report is not even been asked those questions, you know. Saying they would follow up should have been, okay, why don't I have one officer have this statement from the guy at the well site, and the other one have a different one from the
Right.
timeline, you know, timeline. But I can tell you from my
Yes.
own investigation, you know, there's a lot of questions with that timeline based on my son's phone record. So when I listen to these guys talk and I listen to what they have in the report, I can tell you what will come out eventually later. You'll see what I'm talking about. Everything in this report will come, you know, just from detective work they should have been doing
Hmm.
with disturb everybody who's read these reports.
Yeah, there's
But
a
you go
lot of
ahead.
places where
That's right.
there's a lot of places where I felt like they should have just dug deeper, asked a
That's right.
follow-up question,
That's right.
probed
Simple,
a little bit.
simple
Like,
questions. Right.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
I'm good.
Keep going from there. Okay, let's go.
received an image from Kevin on my work email. Upon review of the image, it was an image of a screenshot from a cell phone showing the Google Maps application. The image of the map was in satellite view, and it showed the area of Sun Valley Parkway and Cactus Road in Buckeye, Arizona. The image of the map area had red colored pin marks showing notes of where the job site was located. Kevin also sent me a direct text message to my work cell phone. The text message was a direct link to a dropped pin location via the Google Maps application. I clicked on the link and it took me to blank to the location of the following coordinates blank. This location is about 1 mile west of Sun Valley Parkway and about 1 mile north of West Cactus Road. This location appeared to be the job site as described. After speaking to Kevin, I contacted Kenneth by phone. Kenneth answered the phone when I called. I informed him of who I was and that I was conducting follow up to Daniel being a missing person. I asked Kenneth if he had heard from Daniel since he was missing or if he knew Daniel's whereabouts. Kenneth said he didn't know where he was and has not heard from him. I asked Kenneth if he could re-explain to me what happened the day Daniel went missing. Kenneth said he, Kenneth, works for another company that works along with blank Global Water. Kenneth said the day of the incident, June 23rd, 2021, was the first time he met Daniel. Kenneth said they drove out to the job site, he in his vehicle and Daniel in his Jeep. Kenneth explained to me over the phone the location of how they got into the location. This matched the image as seen on Google Maps as described above. Kenneth said they got to the job site at approximately 9:30 a.m. Kenneth said when they got to the job site, at times he noticed Daniel appeared to stare off into the distance or would just be staring at nothing in particular. Kenneth said Daniel would talk to him at times, but it was regarding topics that were not related to the work that they were there to do. Kenneth said this was odd to him. Kenneth. According to Kenneth, he recalls Daniel asking him, "Do you want to go home? Do you want to go back to Phoenix?" Kenneth said at that time it appeared it was going to rain. Kenneth said he told Daniel he would check the weather application on his cell phone. Kenneth stated as he, Kenneth, began to look at a weather application on his cell phone at about 9:45 a.m. He saw Daniel wave to him as if he was waving goodbye. Kenneth said Daniel didn't say anything, walked over to his Jeep, and drove away from the area. Kenneth said Daniel was last seen driving south on the dirt road from the job site. Kenneth explained that if Daniel continues south down the dirt road,
I wanted to say that though this is this man's statement, and if times that he has given is his testimony, um, there's some very big questions there. My investigation, all of that stuff is questionable. So I just wanted that people try to mark that in their mind. This area of the report, because later on, and that would come out later on. You guys will see what I'm talking about with this whole report, with the lack of work that detectives have done, the lack of work that this department have done, and there's so many answers to all of us. If they would have did a simple a Google download of my son's phone, for instance, things like that. So I don't see them doing their job. I'm as a father had to come here and look for my son and do their job for them. So, it's things I was reading there, going dissecting with you. I have to mention that I want everybody to really pay attention and remember and seal it in their head, these timelines that they're given. So just remember those things, and later on, then we can talk about that.
And in yours, the other reports you got, they said 9 o'clock. Is that right?
Right. It was always told to me direct from these officers that
You were told.
he was saying 9 o'clock, around the 9 o'clock area, that Daniel made it to the site, and also that it was only like 10 minutes, roughly, him leaving around 10 to 15 minutes after the hour. So just remembering all those timelines, and just kind of keep in mind that you see how the story, if the officer was accurate to what his description was,
Right.
how the story changed, and that should have prompted, a real detective, to
Right.
ask questions about changing stories and things like that.
Yeah. Further investigation, for sure.
Right.
For sure. Okay, we got it. We locking it in.
Oh yeah, we good. Good.
He would have come to a spot where the road splits to the west and to the east. He said after Daniel didn't come back to the area, he went looking for Daniel. Kenneth said at the split in the roadway, he saw some fresh tire tracks that went west. Kenneth said it had rained while they were out there, so he believed the rain washed away all the tire tracks and the new tracks was from Daniel's vehicle. Kenneth said at one point he went to a part of high ground to scan the area for Daniel, but ultimately couldn't find him. Kenneth told me at some point, after Daniel left the job site, Kenneth contacted his boss, Steve, informing him of what was going on. Kenneth stated he later received word from Steve and other employees that Daniel did not contact anyone in the company since he left the job site, and that no one knew where he, Daniel, was at. Kenneth ultimately reported no behavior or statements from Daniel that suggested he was hallucinating, that he was incoherent, and or was having some kind of mental health issue. Additionally, Kenneth advised Daniel did not make any direct or indirect suicidal statements or actions. Before ending my contact with Kenneth, I informed him he needs to report to police any information he obtains regarding Daniel's whereabouts or if Daniel contacts him. Kenneth said he would. Investigation into Caitlin. After speaking to Kenneth, I checked the name Caitlin through the NCIC, ACIC, MVD, and Buckeye PD. I was able to locate a female named Caitlin Ann Blank. Caitlin's physical characteristics match the female as blank account Caitlin Blank. Furthermore, Caitlin's address listed in the blank showed in Laveen, Arizona. Believing this to be the subject, Connect had Phoenix PD respond to Caitlin's address to attempt contact with her. Phoenix PD Officer Sanchez, number 8162, called me back a short time later and advised me he was able to make contact with Caitlin at her home. Officer Sanchez advised me that Caitlin was not with Daniel and did not know Daniel's whereabouts. Officer Sanchez provided me with Caitlin's number and said that Caitlin was available for contact if needed. After speaking to Officer Sanchez, I called Caitlin and she answered the phone. I informed Caitlin of who I was and advised her of the situation regarding Daniel going missing. I informed Caitlin that she was not in any trouble and that neither was Daniel. I told Caitlin I was only calling to ask her some questions to see how she knew Daniel and if she knew any information that could assist police in locating him. Caitlin said she understood, was willing to talk to me about the situation. Caitlin advised she did not know where Daniel was located and that she had last heard from Daniel via a text message on 6/22/2021. Caitlin explained that she and Daniel are not in a relationship and that she has only known him since June 12th, 2021. According to Caitlin, on that said day, her and her female friend were at her home, Caitlin's home, and that they ordered food through a service called Instacart. Caitlin explained Instacart was a food ordering service similar to Grubhub and Uber. I was aware that these food services allow a customer/user to order food from a selection of places, and upon ordering the food, the employee working for the food delivery service will pick up the food and will deliver it to any location the customer specifies. Caitlin said Daniel was the person who delivered their food that night. Caitlin said Daniel was very nice, and she and her female friend asked Daniel if he wanted to hang out with them at that time. Caitlin said she and her female friend were drunk, and that looking back on it, she shouldn't have invited a stranger into her home. Caitlin said she believed Daniel was harmless, though, as he had only one arm and was short in height. Caitlin advised Daniel and her exchanged phone numbers that night, and she sent him a podcast that he should listen to. Caitlin advised nothing else happened that night, which was odd, abnormal, or criminal. Caitlin said that night, Daniel had a canopy, which he had in his vehicle, which he left at her home accidentally. Caitlin advised that a few days after that night, June 12, 2021, Daniel sent her a text message that he had accidentally left the canopy and asked her when it was okay for him to come and get it. Caitlin said she sent the text message back to Daniel saying he could come by anytime to get it. Caitlin advised Daniel sent her another text message saying he could come by right then or tomorrow afternoon. She said he then sent her a text message asking for directions to her home. Caitlin said she never responded back to Daniel as she was out of town at the time. She said while she was out of town, she observed Daniel on her home security camera go up to her door, attempting to make contact, then leaving the area. Caitlin said she felt that Daniel should have asked for permission to come over to her home before just showing up there. Caitlin told me she also never provided Daniel with her address or directions to her home, so she said he either used the Instacart food order information to obtain her address or remembered how to get to her home. Caitlin said on June 16, 2021, she sent Daniel a text message advising that she had seen him on the security cameras, but that she wasn't home. Caitlin said she told Daniel when she came back to town, she will make arrangements for him to get the canopy. Caitlin said Daniel then began to become very creepy, sending her a text message of a heart emoji and sending her a text message that says he loves her. Caitlin said one day after this message, he sent her a text message that he was outside of her home. Caitlin said this made her very concerned. According to Caitlin, she was unsure why Daniel would fall in love with her or be in love with her because according to Caitlin, she never did or said anything that would make Daniel think she wanted that kind of relationship. Caitlin said what made her more worried was Daniel coming over to her home unannounced, even after being told not to. Caitlin said she sent Daniel a message telling him she did not feel comfortable about him coming to her home unannounced and to ultimately stop talking to her. Caitlin said her last contact from Daniel was a text message from him on June 22nd, 2021, around 3 p.m., where he said she wouldn't see him anymore. Caitlin said she has since not heard from Daniel. Caitlin said she will screenshot the text messages and will send them to me. I asked her to upload the screenshots into evidence.com via the Action Citizen Capture link, which I sent her. I informed Caitlin about the injunction against harassment process and the AZ Point website. I informed her she should make a report with Phoenix PD, but that I would document what she had told me in my report. I provided her with the report number and my contact information. I told her to call the police if she heard from Daniel or knew anything regarding his whereabouts. After speaking to Caitlin, I later received notification via evidence.com that Caitlin uploaded 4 images. Upon review of them, it appeared that they were screenshots taken from a phone which appears to show text message communication between her and Daniel. The following are the text messages between Caitlin and Daniel and the dates and times for them. Sunday, June 13th, 2:29 a.m. Caitlin sends a link, podcast.apple.com. Sunday, June 13th, 2:29 a.m. Daniel replies, hey. Monday, June 14th, 7:19 p.m. Daniel writes, hey, I accidentally left my canopy outside your house. Is it still there? If so, is it okay if I pick it up? Daniel also adds, also, the podcast was great. Tuesday, June 15th, 1:37 p.m. Caitlin replies, yes, you can pick it up whenever. Tuesday, June 15th, 8:30 p.m. Daniel writes, thanks. How do I get there again? I can come now or tomorrow afternoon to grab it. Wednesday, June 16th, 2:06 p.m. Caitlin writes, hi, I saw you on the camera. I'm in Flagstaff and will be home later tonight. If you want, I can put it out front by the chairs before I head out for work tomorrow morning. Wednesday, June 16th, 3:12 p.m. Daniel sends a red colored heart emoji. Wednesday, June 16th, 10:13 p.m. Daniel writes, I'm sorry. Thursday, June 17th, 6:39 p.m.
Hey, hold on a second.
Please stop showing up unannounced.
I just want to point out something that kind of worries me. If you look at the way this text message, like you say, was worded, so my son somehow jumped from uh, sending some kind of emoji and then say I'm sorry right after that. If
Right.
it's as if somebody would say, why you sending me this heart emoji or something? Then you say I'm sorry.
Right.
I mean, what prompted him to say I'm sorry? But there's some things I just kind of looking at just don't make sense. But I don't know. Like I said, if they would have did proper police work. First of all, this is a bunch of hearsay document they allow in their report. One sided, because then the judge will look at that and say, look, that's hearsay statement. I don't need that. That's trash.
Yep.
And also because they haven't done due diligence and look at go through that phone and the bank or go get the phone records and get those timelines first of all, because I'm telling you the phone been stripped of everything else, conversation between those two on his phone itself, stuff I can't get because they wiped it. They wiped the phone. And so just her conversation, nobody else's conversation, but just hers. My conversation is still there. His family, his friends, everybody's conversation is still there, except this particular thing. So that is wiped out the phone. Only thing we can go by is the phone record that we have that they never ever to this date asked us about. As far as I know, they never got a warrant to go get a phone record from the phone company. So those type things that have been made in the report is a problem to me. Saying they allow somebody, like you say, to uplink a screenshot or something they could have deleted or whatever the case may be. And yes, I agree. It's lying about something, of course, in my opinion. And so they didn't do the job work to just say, hey, look, we need to go a little farther than this. If they want to, the whole bottom line is to me is why all of a sudden you can look at them asking a question. I mean, it could have been simple. Hey, when last time you seen this gentleman? Oh, I haven't seen him since blah blah blah. Did you have? Yeah, I know him, but we didn't have point blank. They could have went further, but they went into details of her statement. I mean, like full detail. Like they really want to press in their report that somehow my son was stalking her, and then to go further, they wanted her to include without for whatever reason. Saying they could have took the statement, but in there they're saying like she automatically on her own just upload this text message, up to their site. Like they just put that all together. Hey, look, need to put this up there, send the stuff up there. So I mean, I look at things like that as suspicious to me. It's very suspicious to want this lady's screenshots up in your database. Just put it up in the database, and we're gonna put it on the report. That type deal. So I asked a lot of questions with that, and like I said, I'm always going to ask questions. I'm not that father that's going to sit there and just look at these things, knowing my child, and don't ask these questions. Just go ahead and let it be something, a narrative that they want to keep. So it's not going to happen that way on my watch.
I know that's right. I can tell you from what I've read, my interpretation is that, first of all, there's 7 hours between the time he sends a random heart and the I'm sorry. And then later on, he's going to say that he got his, well, it's coming up really soon. He's going to tell her he got his canopy, but he wanted to tell her he was sorry for disappearing the other day. So that could be the same reason he was sorry earlier, because he disappeared, which means they saw each other again.
Right.
There's a lot to that, and that's why they were supposed to probe.
That's right. Probe and ask the questions. Things look like that is inconsistent. If you want to put that in your report, you need to dig into it. So don't just put somebody's statement, hearsay statement, and don't dig into it. Where's the other young lady's statement to corroborate what this girl was saying? She was
Right.
there. You know,
Right.
I need to know her name. I need to know her statement, what she says she saw. Put that on the record. So when everything come back, when this evidence come back, then we can question them about their statements.
Yep.
So put that on the record.
Yep. She doesn't even exist in this report,
Right.
except that they
Yeah, a lot of things on
mentioned
this.
that it was two girls. This report is something else. I know people get bored with this type of stuff, but I read it like a book. I'm just over here like, oh my
It's just the
God.
whole fact. They want to go to the phone, just the whole fact when that vehicle was found, they found that phone, and the
Yeah.
detective take my son's phone out that scene. I have a recorded call. He's saying this. He told me he took that phone
Crazy.
off the scene and put it in his back pocket. Nobody had it because I questioned him about why is the memory card moved. I just got my son that memory card. He needed more data. Got a brand new S phone. I'm not gonna say it type, and brand new phone with need that memory. What do you need a memory for? Because you want to use his phone. The memory card is gone. The SIM card is still there. The memory card is gone. His Google history, everything been deleted. Everything, like I said, that dealing with this young lady was deleted out the phone. Nothing else, just that. Now, I mean, how suspicious is that also? So we need
It's
to
very
start looking at things like that. If that's not in the report and they didn't look into it, and they had the phone now. They said they went to not only that, the same detective on the recorded call said that they cloned the phone. So I'm saying if they had the phone, they cloned it, and they got all the stuff going on with that phone. They know what was on that phone or could have been on that phone. They should have been looking for it. So when I see that in their report without having that stuff in the report, I start asking a lot of questions. There's a lot of questions need to be asked about this whole phone deal and why they decided
that's in
to allow them to put that in their report.
that's in the report you have, David, because that's not in this
No, no,
report. They
no. I'm
cloned
saying
it.
that's what I said. It should have been in the report. None of this was in the report
That's
about
what
my
you
son.
have.
That's what I'm saying. But they're taking
Wow.
a young lady's report, something she just on her own submitted to their web to their uploaded. You know, so that's the problem I had there. Without question, without any kind of question or whatever she upload, they took it as a hearsay as fact, and they
Yeah,
put it in their report.
they did. They did. And drove it home, honey. I mean, drove it home. They don't ease up about her and that situation. They bring it up at random times in the report where nothing was even going on. They'll just be like, so and so pointed out the last message he ever sent to Caitlin. They drove it home. So sad and
Because they
obvious.
want to make sure my son is villain like a villain. Just like anytime, especially a person of color, I had to go that direction, but it's the truth. We the victim, but we somehow become a subject of our own. Something happened to us. We somehow be used to make it like we did it to ourselves or something like or the other. I
Right.
seen. I hate to bring another case up, but just like in the
Go for
Jelani
it.
Day case, it was the same way. Try to make it appear that he somehow did something to himself. So
Right.
it's common, some common tactics that always goes on with that type thing, making my son not the victim. You know, try to make this young lady some type of way a victim, some type of way, and he was psycho type guy, and he, went off somewhere. So that type deal.
Right. Right. That they definitely tried to do that, and that's what I saw when I told you about that story from the other content creator. That's what I saw immediately. I mean, he was like, "Yeah, I have the PDF if you want it." It turns out it was the same one I have from News Nation, but he emailed me the police report. But his tone was like, "It's open and shut." You know, he was stalking the girl. He walked off. He's gone. There was no compassion for Daniel, and it's because that's how that police report is written. It's
Right.
not even about Daniel. It's damn near not even like a missing person report if you really read it. It's like they weren't trying to find him.
There wasn't. No, not at all.
That's what it should
Not
have
at
been
all.
about. It's crazy. The opportunities they had, they didn't take to just dig a little bit deeper and ask one more question that could have prompted them to say, you know what, there might be foul play. They played it so careful so that they never had to cross that line.
That's right. No, you keep it as
Mhm.
a missing person. You don't have to do anything by law, so they know that. So it's a couple things I'm working on in the background that even go farther than that in their way of treating my son. So there's a lot of things I'm learning, and I have some help in the background that's helping me with that.
Good. Okay. Let
But
me
we
quit.
keep going.
You know me, I'll start fussing and cussing over there.
That's
Okay,
right.
going back.
Yes.
Daniel replies, okay, I won't ever again. Caitlin replies, thanks. And I'm looking right now and don't see the canopy in the garage. Daniel replied, don't worry about it. I already have it. Caitlin said, question mark, I'm confused. Daniel replied, I did grab it yesterday. I just wanted to tell you I'm sorry for disappearing the other day. At the end of the sentence of this message, Daniel sends a sad face
Hold on one
emoji.
second. Hold on a second.
And Daniel writes again, I couldn't stop.
You know, if you look at the inconsistencies that's here, this young lady says she saw him on the camera, right? Going to her home later at
Mhm.
night in Flash on the 16th. But on the 17th, she went to go check inside she saw him go get the canopy, but then go check for it a day later, according to this, in the garage. Why is that? When you already
Exactly.
saw him, you say on the camera that you saw him come get it. Did that
It's
make sense to
weird.
you? Right.
No,
It don't
no.
make sense. It don't make sense at all. So I'm looking at this on the 16th. She said, "Hi, I saw you on the camera, and I'm in Flagstaff. I will be home later tonight. If you want, I can put it out in front of your cell before I head out for work tomorrow." Then on the 16th, Danny sends her a red heart thing. Okay, on 16, I'm sorry. Please stop showing up unannounced. So, you know, this was saying she was on the saw him on the camera, saying he's up there unannounced. So she's on the I guess camera from Flagstaff. But at the
Yeah.
same time, saying that she had to go get the thing out the garage, but he said he already got it.
Right.
So to
So she
me,
would have seen him get it.
right. So that's why he was up there on the camera to pick his thing. According to my son, he told me out his own mouth, he went there. She wouldn't answer the call, text message or whatever. And he took it to the point because he needed it for his job. He went to get it. This when she saying don't come unannounced. You know, so that's the story I have from him direct. That's not, you know, it could be hearsay if I say, hey, my son told me that. A judge would say
Right.
that's hearsay.
He
But, you
said,
know, you put those together, it makes sense. But you know what I'm saying? But in this report, it make it appear that it was two separate times. And, you know, she had to go check. And he said, I already got it. He already got it because that time when you say you saw him on your camera from Flagstaff,
when he
getting it,
got
you know?
it, she
Right.
was
So
mixing stuff.
it don't make sense to me.
So did he mention to you, David, if he got it from the backyard or the garage? Because that's a
Yeah, it
contradiction
was
here
the
too.
backyard. I was told backyard. That's what he told me. And I was asking him personally,
Okay.
why would I didn't ask him when he was telling me, I was thinking, I was like, why would he be? Why would what they doing a canopy in the backyard? You know, so I know
Right.
he spent the night with her. I know what happened that night with her, and why would he be? What they were doing in the backyard? You know, that type deal.
Right. Right.
So, you know, as a father, I'm like, okay, that sounds strange, but you know, it is what it is. Young people, I don't know what's going on with that, but canopy in the backyard. That's what I was told.
Okay. Because now the police report is in her messages, he's saying he grabbed it from the garage. And I would think this, and when you really think about that now, if that was a true statement, and y'all think about this in the chat, if somebody, this guy that you did it, you let him in, random Instacart delivery guy, you don't know him, you let him in, you and your homegirl, y'all hang out and drink wine and kick it, he spends the night. This is all on you, right? How do you later act like he is doing the most? Like you I don't know. To me, that was very irresponsible on her part. We all make mistakes. Okay, whatever. But I just don't get how, at the end of the day, she can just say, looking back at it now, I don't think I should have let a strange guy in my home. In the story, I'm a victim. I don't know. You got to be pretty bold to let it go. In this day and age, maybe her and her friend did this often.
Yes.
Definitely need to
I
talk to
don't.
that
I don't
adult.
know. I don't know what happened, but I do know. I'll go by facts. Things my son told me personally,
Yeah,
and then
that's
versus
the
what I
thing.
see in this report. When they take a story, like I say again, something that's hearsay, and put it in a report, a hearsay story.
That's
You
what it
know,
is.
and the facts is, I don't know why they went through a whole. I mean, why did they put Ken his text messages? Tell him to upload his text message between him and my son, or his
Yeah.
phone calls, or whatever the case may be. Why they're so detailed about this text messages, and not detailed about a lot of other things that went on with people he ran across days before, his disappearance. Which they should be detailed. Don't get me wrong; they should be detailed, but they need to be detailed with everything, not like just put a text message up and don't go farther than that. So that's a
Well,
problem.
that would be real investigation. You want them to be
Right,
detectives or something? You want them to investigate?
right,
Exactly though. They should have been so many times. I'm sitting there like that. That's it. And they type at the end, this concludes my involvement in this. And I'm like, really? You're done?
yeah.
I would go crazy as a detective. My OCD would be like, hell no, something ain't right. I
There's
got
no sign. Right.
questions.
Yeah, right,
It's insane. And the other thing I want y'all to think about in the chat is if a guy showed up, I gave y'all the whole scenario. This is the guy. You let him in, you set it all up. Here we go. Now he's texting you and he's saying he was just in your garage and took his canopy. How mad are you gonna be? Her response was like, what? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Like, I'm gonna be like, man, I'm gonna use words y'all don't want to hear me use. You were in my
right.
fucking house? Because my garage means entrance to my home. So I would have lost it. He didn't lose it. So to me, that's a little bit odd. You was that cool about him being able to get it. Let's say he did get in and get in the garage. All you have to say is what? Don't show up unannounced. How about now I call the police? You've been in my house. So
Right.
that's shady. It doesn't
Yeah,
sound right.
exactly. But we know he wasn't in the house. Obviously, he said
Right.
he was going out there. He's outside. He left it outside, unless she put it in the garage. Um, you know,
He's still putting
uh,
the guy.
right. Yeah, he couldn't get in the
Putting the
house and
guy.
get out the garage.
Well,
Unless he had.
unless that girl was there, he went over and that
Right.
girl, but you would have heard something like that.
Right. Right.
We ain't heard nothing
But
about him going back and
not
somebody else
before. We don't even
in the
know the
garage.
girl's name or anything about her. Right. It's like she just disappeared off the face of earth on the
Yeah,
report. So yes.
yeah, that's crazy. Um, I mean, the Quinto, yeah, you're right. He said you can delete text messages in between text messages and no one will know what's going on. Yeah, but you guys see how the format changed. That is a problem for me. I don't care. I don't
Right.
care.
Yes.
That's
Yeah. The
not supposed
format.
to.
Right.
Yeah, that's suspect right there. That means they should be pulling her phone records because this don't match.
Right.
Okay, all right. I don't know if I started this or you did, but you ready for me to keep rolling?
I'm ready. We both did. I mean, I did. I started, but then yeah, we kept going.
Well, the parent comes out. I mean,
It does.
not to
Right. Yeah.
mention, and the humanity. Like, how y'all gonna do somebody like this? This is none of us in
Right.
this room uh, is or has been a detective. I bet, and we all can see that this case needs a lot more investigating.
That's right. Don't worry. I
We
got it.
can.
I got it.
I love it.
I
I
got it.
love it. Let's go.
Yes.
Thinking about you. Saturday, June 19th, 12:44 p.m. Can we hang out? Caitlin replies, I'm not home. Daniel says, okay. Sunday, June 20th, 12:14 a.m. Daniel says, I love you. Sunday, 8:28 a.m. Daniel writes, are you home today? Sunday, June 20th, Caitlin replies, 9:36.
Just FYI, don't let your brains trick you. The date is not there. I'm just saying it
Right.
to keep everybody on track.
And I'm
It is
glad you're
not there
saying that because
anymore.
yeah, that's when you see that, like you say, the format start changing. Right.
Yeah, it's gone. But I didn't want us to get thrown off, and so I was looking at the calendar and I put it in anyway. But yeah, it's gone.
That's right. That's right.
6 a.m. Honestly, you showing up at my house unannounced made me extremely uncomfortable. I will not be home today, but I don't see us hanging out anytime soon. Daniel replied, okay. But do you have any doubt? Either way, I'll have to be okay with your answer. Monday, June 21st. Daniel writes at 11:44 a.m. How are you feeling? Monday, 3:46 p.m. Daniel writes, I'm outside of your place. Caitlin replies, question mark, please stop doing that. I'm not even home. This is not okay. Daniel replies, I guess not. Caitlin replies, not you guess. I've told you it is not okay and to not come by my home unannounced. Daniel replies, are you okay with me? Caitlin says, no, this isn't normal nor acceptable. Daniel asks, what is normal? Caitlin says, making plans before showing up at someone's home. And if someone has expressed that you've made them uncomfortable, you need to back off. Daniel replies, do you hate me? Caitlin says, I don't hate you, but please leave me alone. 8:46 p.m. Monday night. Daniel replies, you're right. Tuesday, June 22nd, 2021. Daniel texts, the world can get better, but I'll have to take all the time I can, or we can, whatever to name it. I'll either see you again or never see you again. On June 24th, 2021, I had Buckeye PD dispatch contact Tempe PD and requested they check Daniel's home for him and or his vehicle. I later received information from Buckeye PD dispatch that Tempe PD went out to the home but were unable to make contact with anyone there. Additionally, they were unable to locate Daniel's vehicle. Dispatch reported the Tempe officer advised they could see about 80% of the interior of Daniel's home via a window, but that they couldn't see any signs of anyone being home. Tempe PD ultimately had no other information to provide. Contact with Luke Joseph. At the later end of my shift, I received contact from Davisha by phone. Davisha said she was able to obtain information from a former college roommate of Daniel's named Marcus, that one of Daniel's friends named Luke Blank had recently flown into Arizona to see Daniel. Davisha said she obtained a phone number for Luke, which she provided to me. I asked Davisha if Marcus had any further information regarding Daniel's whereabouts, or if he had heard from Daniel. Davisha said Marcus did not know where Daniel was at and had not heard from him. Davisha ultimately had no further information to report, so we ended our conversation. After obtaining this information from Davisha, I called Luke by phone. Luke answered the call and fully identified himself as Luke Joseph Greco. Date of birth. I informed Luke of who I was and that I was calling him in reference to Daniel being a missing person. When I informed
No, I'll just point out they didn't redact this guy's name. I'm sure him and his family will be calling this police department for that. That's ridiculous. That's sloppy work. But go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, not only did they not redact his name, they left his birth date and everything in there. And he is the only one
right
in
there.
the entire report.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Very weird. I thought it was weird.
Because you said it just now, I have an unredacted version. They gave me unredacted. I was like, how you reading what I'm seeing? You know, so okay.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Good catch.
Yeah.
From Luke of this, he said he was not aware that Daniel went missing. I asked Luke if he was with Daniel or if he knew where Daniel was at. Luke said he was not with Daniel and was not aware of his whereabouts. Luke explained that he had flew into Arizona to visit Daniel over the past weekend, and he stayed with Daniel at his home. Luke said on 6/20/2021, he, Luke, flew back to New York, where he, Luke, lives. I asked Luke when was the last time he had heard from Daniel. Luke said on 6/22/2021, around evening time, he sent Daniel a message on Instagram and Daniel liked his message. I talked to Luke about the allegations of Daniel reportedly acting odd or talking in an abnormal way. I asked Luke if he observed Daniel do or say anything that was abnormal to him. Luke said he didn't observe any odd actions or statements from Daniel. I asked Luke if Daniel has ever made any direct or vague statements, or if Daniel made any actions that suggested he, Daniel, was going to or wanted to hurt himself or kill himself. Luke said he has never heard Daniel say or do anything before like that. However, Luke said he does recall Daniel telling him, Luke, that he was glad he was in town to visit because he, Daniel, had been feeling depressed lately. Luke said Daniel said this to him while they were at a bar. Luke advised Daniel, however, didn't tell him what he was depressed about or say anything else regarding that. Luke ultimately couldn't provide any other information suggesting Daniel was suicidal and or acting odd. Before ending my contact with Luke, I informed him he needs to report to police any information he obtains regarding Daniel's whereabouts or if Daniel contacts him. Luke said he would. Attempt to locate Daniel through his phone/vehicle and through TLO officer. During my follow-up on 6/23/2021, I obtained information from David that Daniel possibly has either the OnStar system or the Uconnect system in his vehicle, which could possibly allow for Daniel's vehicle to be located. Upon obtaining this information, I contacted the OnStar system customer service phone number. I was able to speak to one of the OnStar system employees who advised that Daniel's vehicle, a 2017 Jeep Renegade, would not have this system in it because the said company does not put that system in 2017 Jeep Renegades.
Time out.
After obtaining that information, I called the customer service.
They say the Uconnect, or that's I'm trying to look. They say OnStar, right?
He
Because
said that
okay,
he said you told him that he had one or the other. So what's going to happen is he's going to contact both allegedly.
right. I had to go back and read that because it was going faster, and I wanted to go back, and I didn't want to lose my spot. But yes, it's definitely wasn't OnStar that's in this vehicle. It's a Uconnect.
It's a Uconnect.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
Right,
that's what he's going to put.
Okay.
He's gonna say. Well, I'll let him say it. But yeah, that's where we are.
Okay.
Number for the Uconnect system and was able to speak to an employee for the company. The Uconnect system employee advised it did appear that this vehicle was in their database, but that Daniel had never created an account under the Uconnect system. The Uconnect system employee was asked that if I were to create an account for the vehicle, could its location be tracked? The Uconnect system employee said it could, unless there was other circumstances that had occurred, such as the vehicle not having any electricity from the battery, or if someone has tampered with the vehicle.
David, I want to make sure I said that right. So right here, what it's saying is that he did not have OnStar because Jeep wouldn't have used OnStar. So Uconnect
right.
is what he had, right? That's what you were
Yeah,
saying?
that's what I was saying. I thought it was saying basically I had to go back and make sure they didn't say it was an OnStar on it. It's a Uconnect, so that's correct. Now
Okay.
I can say that something he just said here. I was told that they couldn't get data because they said most likely the battery was disconnected or something or other. There's one point that I was reading in here that they should be asking questions about. If you just dissect, like I say, this whole report, you can see all the sloppy work that wasn't done. Things that if you was saying you was investigating hindsight, now once they get pressure from the public, I was investigating. They would investigate some of these things that are in here. They wrote it. They should have been investigating that type stuff. It was something I just heard, and I'm now having a brain freeze, but it's something that was written here about that Uconnect and that vehicles and its location. So one thing, I'll see if I can find it real quick. Employees in the system.
Most likely, right, Leanne? That shouldn't even be in the report. Most likely.
Okay. I can't think of it right now, but something that was said just now, and I'm trying to make clarity on that. Um,
Something that we
but
just passed.
yeah, something that you just read on there. But I'm trying to remember exactly where I was going at with it, but it'll be
That's
something
okay.
I'll look at later.
Let me do. Let
But
me
you
go
keep
back.
it there.
That'll take
Okay.
a couple seconds. Let's see.
The Uconnect system employee advised it did appear that this vehicle was in their database, but that Daniel had never created an account under the Uconnect system. The Uconnect system employee was asked that if I were to create an account for the vehicle, could its location be tracked? The Uconnect system employee said it could, unless there was other circumstances that had occurred, such as the vehicle not having any electricity from the battery or if someone has tampered with the vehicle. I advised my immediate supervisor of this information and with his approval signed up for the Uconnect system account so Daniel or his vehicle could be located. After the account was created, I was informed by the Uconnect system that I would get notifications sent to my work email which showed the vehicle's location, if the vehicle's location could be known. I was informed that there was no actions that I needed to do, other than reviewing the information sent to my work email from the Uconnect system. At approximately 12:41 hours, I received an email from the Uconnect system showing information to the vehicle's location. The email showed that as of 2:31 p.m. Central Time, the GPS location of the vehicle showed zero point 0/zero point 0. The Uconnect system email showed the course information as 0 degrees at 0 kilometers per hour. No further information was reported to me in the email showing the vehicle's location. This email was screenshot and uploaded into evidence.com. As well as attempting to locate Daniel and his vehicle, Buckeye PD dispatch contacted Daniel's cell phone provider to attempt to locate him through his cell phone. Dispatch would later report to me at the end of my shift of June 24th, 2021. Several attempts to locate Daniel through his cell phone was made, but to no avail. Dispatch advised no information to Daniel's location was known, and no information to his last known location was known. Checking area for Daniel. On June 24th, 2021, I checked the area of North 315th Avenue, a few miles north of West Highland Drive. This area is a few miles south of the job site. In that area, I checked for Daniel, his vehicle, or any signs of both.
Can you pause that for a second?
Ultimately, unable to locate anything.
I just noticed you guys probably had a bit bit large redaction up there above that where it said action taken before the shift for
Mm-hmm.
624. You saw a big large redacted area. As I was reading, I saw how you skipped that whole section, and I see the
Mm-hmm.
reason why. But of course, this is redacted. I pretty much can't put that out here, but you know, there are some things there. Um, um, in this report under that redaction that I'm reading now that is questionable. So those are things I'm gonna be looking into also to add to my report. So I just wanted to mention that under that redaction, it's some really good information.
That's interesting. I wonder what. Okay. Okay. Interesting that they had to redact it, like the whole thing, though. They did that a couple times in here. At least you have it.
Oh yes,
Yeah. Good. You know, I don't know what's going on. Do you have your wrench? I'm not signed into YouTube, so I don't know why you can't. But if you do exclamation mark Daniel and you have a wrench, it will put a link in there for you. Let me know. I'll be watching chat. All right, let me keep rolling.
Actions taken before end of shift, June 24th, 2021. Before ending my shift on June 24th, 2021, David, Davisha, and Kevin were contacted by phone and given the outcome of the efforts made in my investigation to Daniel being missing. They were all informed to call police if Daniel's whereabouts were known or if Daniel contacted any one of them. It should be noted that David, Davisha, and Kevin were advised that a helicopter was requested through my immediate supervisor to attempt to check the area for Daniel, but was declined. They were informed that I would look into the matter on June 25th, 2021, upon my return to work. Additionally, I told them the officer, which comes on the shift prior to me going off shift, will be briefed about everything that has gone on. After speaking to the said parties, I contacted the oncoming shift officer, Buckeye PD Officer Ashton. I informed her of all pertinent information. Follow-up taken on June 25th, 2020.
You knew, come over to Q Carlock. You're over at my second channel. That's why. And I'm not logged into YouTube, so it'll be like a lot for me to come over there and mod you. But pop over to Q Carlock. While I'm paused, are you good, David? Anything you want to say?
Oh no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm surprised that yesterday, but I've read some of the stuff already before. I kind of skimmed through the speed read, but some little details in there I'm really looking into right now.
So you remember the helicopter request being denied?
Yeah, that was one of my reasons why I ended up leaving home. So one of the reasons I was leaving because there's denied, and the guys, when I first asked them to go out there that night of the 23rd, they didn't do it, and then the next day, they didn't do it. So this thing was denied. He told me it was denied, and that was the reason why it was denied by his higher ups, and so of course that prompted me to leave.
Okay, well they're gonna talk about it more, and they'll talk about that the part about the auntie too that we were tripping on last night. So we'll keep rolling.
Okay.
21. Upon the start of my shift, I was informed by Sergeant Fletcher, my immediate supervisor, that Daniel was still reportedly missing, as he had been briefed by the Buckeye PD supervisor, which works the graveyard shift. I asked Sergeant Fletcher for direction on what further actions needed to be done due to Daniel still missing. Sergeant Fletcher advised to document all information that I had obtained in my investigation and to document my actions up to that time. He advised the case would be forwarded to Buckeye PD detectives for follow-up. Helicopter search and recheck of job site area by Buckeye PD. Later in my shift on June 25th, 2021, I received word from Sergeant Fletcher that Daniel's aunt had called Buckeye PD to talk to a supervisor about her concerns regarding Daniel being missing. Sergeant Fletcher advised he contacted Daniel's aunt, and upon speaking to her about the situation, the decision to request for a helicopter will be made. A short time after obtaining this information, I received word from Sergeant Fletcher that Phoenix Firebird helicopter would be heading to the job site location to check the surrounding area for Daniel and Daniel's vehicle. While the helicopter checked the area, Buckeye PD Officer Brown and Buckeye PD Sergeant C. Hale checked the desert area as well. Ultimately, Daniel and his vehicle were not located. Uconnect system rechecked. While the helicopter and Buckeye PD officers checked for Daniel, I attempted to obtain any further information from the Uconnect system that could assist in locating Daniel or his vehicle. Ultimately, numerous attempts to get this to work, Daniel's vehicle location was unable to be located through the Uconnect system. I was informed by the Uconnect system employee that the reason the vehicle location was not able to be determined was either from someone tampering with the system, the Uconnect system application not being properly updated in Daniel's vehicle, or that the vehicle's battery had no charge, which means his vehicle battery was dead. The Uconnect system employee specified that Daniel's vehicle could be tracked, even if his engine was off. Recontacted by Kevin at end of shift on June 25th, 2021. Kevin called me during my shift on June 25th, 2021, but I was not able to answer his call until later at the end of shift. When I called Kevin back, he answered and he asked me for an update on the case. I informed him of the current situation and asked him if he had any new information to report. Kevin said he did not. I informed Kevin that due to Daniel being at work at the time of him missing, I would believe someone in law enforcement would contact either him or someone in Daniel's employer to report any new information regarding contact with Daniel or his condition. Kevin said he understood and he was satisfied with the actions taken thus far by police. Before ending my contact with Kevin, he again advised he would report to police any new information that he receives regarding Daniel. Conclusion. As of 6/26/2021 and 11:11 a.m., Daniel is missing and his whereabouts are not known. This concludes this report at this time. A supplemental report will be completed upon any new information that I receive regarding this case. It should be noted that my Axon 3 body camera was recording during contacts with parties in this case. All body camera footage from my body camera was uploaded into evidence.com. Nothing further at this time. Detective L. Biffin, number 4216, 6/30/2021, 9:45 a.m. Initial case review. On Saturday, June 26, 2021, this case was assigned to me for follow-up investigation. I reviewed the report thus far and learned that on June 23, 2021, Daniel arrived to a job site off Sun Valley Parkway, where he met with co-worker Kenneth. Kenneth told officers that Daniel was acting strange and left the site without saying anything. He was concerned because he believes that Daniel turned down the road that led farther into the desert and not towards the main road. Daniel was reported missing by his family in South Carolina, as they had not heard from him since that morning. The initial patrol level investigation revealed that Daniel had made some statements to a girl named Caitlin, indicating she may never see him again after she asked him to leave her alone. There was no indication.
Oh, okay. This is what I want to point out. This is the detective's initial review.
Right, initial. That's what I'm thinking too. The first thing he come up with, right?
I mean, right? He talked about the last time they saw him, but he didn't get to the big, just nothing. He went right into Caitlin. It's crazy. That's what I mean. They were spinning the hell out of this narrative.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's weird to me. That's what you detect out of all that.
That's the first thing. Yeah, that's why I was shaking my head. That first thing. Yeah, he wanted to go that direction, right?
Yep.
And nail on some way to make him appear. But they want, like you said, they want to hold that line so they don't have to go search for him as a dangerous person. But at the same time, say he probably left to go off himself or something. You know, that
strange.
type of thing.
Yeah. Right. Keep that strange, odd narrative going. Because odd views. Oh my God! If I had to drink every time I said odd, I would have been drunk when I got done reading this. It was crazy. Oh my God! All right, here we go.
And even so, this has nothing to do with them not doing their job. You know, saying they need to do their job to find any missing person in this circumstance. So that's what I'm saying. That some of the things that I read in this report and story about my son. You know, hindsight with me now to date, you know, this thing's bigger than just us or whatever. So I'm saying, you know, we got to get some changes in this law, the way they approach missing persons. So,
yeah, you know, overall,
treat it like a criminal case and rule it out. You know what I'm saying? That type of deal.
Yep, I agree completely.
That Daniel was suicidal or that he had any plans to leave the area. Officer Haley conducted extensive and well documented follow up and made efforts to locate Daniel and his vehicle using the blank feature that some Jeeps are equipped with. Contact with Kenneth. I made contact with coworker Kenneth. Kenneth had previously been interviewed by the case officer. I wanted to know if Kenneth recalled what Daniel was wearing, and he did not remember. He did recall that Daniel was wearing his safety vest when he arrived and when he drove off. He also noted that Daniel's shoes were not tied. Kenneth said that he had never worked with Daniel before. He said that when they arrived, they had to wait for a storm cell to pass. Kenneth said that during that time, Daniel was looking around and seemed off. He started asking Kenneth if he wanted to go to Phoenix to rest, which confused Kenneth. After about 15 minutes, Kenneth said Daniel got in his Jeep and drove off without saying anything more to him. Kenneth advised that he drove the area to see where Daniel went and informed me that since it had rained, he could see Daniel's tire track pretty clear, at least for a portion of the road leading away from the site. He advised that Daniel's track turned west, down the dirt road leading out into the desert area. Kenneth stated that he drove around for a period of time trying to see where Daniel might have gone, but he was not able to locate him. Kenneth explained that this was the first time he had worked with Daniel and expressed concern that he had not heard from him since that day. First contact with Daniel's father, David. I made contact with David, Daniel's father. David advised he would be coming to Arizona to help search for Daniel. David expressed genuine concern and explained that it is not like Daniel to take off in a manner such as this. David was not aware of any of his friends in the area. He said that Daniel had moved to Arizona relatively recently. The call was on speakerphone with Daniel's sister as well. I asked them both about David's friends. David mentioned a friend of Daniel's named Antonio Blank, who is a 23 to 34-year-old male, and provided the phone number blank. This is a friend of Daniel's who offered him an apartment last month. Daniel expressed interest in going, but did not have a plan that anyone knew of. Daniel's sister said that in May, Daniel took a spontaneous trip to San Francisco without telling anyone. While on his way, he contacted his other sister in Fremont for a place to stay for the night. This current situation is different because he has not been in contact with anyone for several days. David advised there are no known medical issues or mental health issues, although it appears Daniel's behavior in the week or two prior to this incident has been unusual. I was also advised that Daniel's
He did it again.
Yeah, they did. I just don't
See?
like the fact that they take a trip to. He was surprising his sister in California. He did go without telling he was coming. When he got close, that's when he told her that he was coming. First of all, he
Right.
slept on her couch. Then from there, he went to take a trip up to up north. And I'm not gonna say details of where, but we know everywhere he went. Then he came back down south to California area to just to make it back home to Arizona. So we did know where he was going. He wasn't going for several days without anybody knowing. But some details I was looking at here, and I said, he's out of doing some typo. I don't really make too much a big deal about it, but I just see how the sloppy work is being done too. Saying some of the sloppy work, the details are not correct and things like that. So it's just little small details, but some of the things that is relevant definitely should have been in there, things like that. So I
Yeah,
just look
they
at
left out
some of the things that change the narratives. Yeah,
exactly right. That's what I was gonna say. They left out the stuff that would have really changed this whole entire case. And
right. That
they,
matters. Things that matters. Right. Yes.
yeah, yeah, and they added the stuff that fits their narrative. I
Right.
mean, hey, he left one time. Okay, they don't give a damn. He was surprising his sister, and he did check in. Oh, but he left one time, and he didn't tell nobody for him. Okay, good, good. That's
And you
good.
got to mind you, this is probably like a month prior, month or so prior to this incident. My son ended up missing. So I mean, all this is irrelevant stuff. You know what I'm saying? Things
Yeah,
just crazy. Crazy stuff. And then, like I said, we knew exactly where he was going. So that's ridiculous. Yeah, he left Phoenix. All thing that's true about that statement, we expressed that he left, this area to go see his sister.
yeah.
But he called her like 3 hours or so within the trip to let her know that he's coming by, and he did catch her off guard and sleep on the couch. So that her husband. So the deal is, I'm saying,
Right.
those guys, yeah, they go a little too far with the story.
Yeah. Spin it out. Terrible. All right. I'm sorry. I had that one. I'm like, there he go again.
Yeah, yeah.
Instagram account appears to have had all the posts deleted, but his family says they were there a day or two before he went missing. David said that Daniel uses blank for his banking and has a blank credit card, which he just got. Account numbers are unknown, but he is pretty sure these are the only accounts Daniel has. David later advised that Daniel also has a blank account, but they do not have access. I advised David to contact an attorney to see if there was a possibility he can obtain power of attorney through civil courts, which may allow him to obtain phone and bank records to assist in locating Daniel. Contact with blank. I then obtained call detail records, CDRs, and a continuous ping on Daniel's phone. Upon review, I found that the CDRs were only from June 24th, after the phone was off. All of the information I was able to see on this initial disclosure appeared to be unanswered incoming calls and messages after Daniel had gone missing. I recontacted T-Mobile on June 27, 2021, and updated the exigent form, explaining to T-Mobile that I believe Daniel was possibly in danger. T-Mobile agreed to provide call details dating back to June 22nd, 2021,
Can you pause that?
but advised that any additional
First of all, the contact with T-Mobile, I found understanding. This is from my perspective as family. We sat there. They literally told us they couldn't get anything from T-Mobile Sprint because of no warrant. It's not considered a criminal case. By court order, they only can do that, right?
Right.
The other part is, like I said, anything they got from anything about Daniel's phone or bank theories, like I said, through what we showed them on the cell phone. Now, you kind of see how they double talk a little bit. They say they literally, this is what he's saying now, he literally called this company and said that they feel that Daniel was in danger. So why isn't Daniel being looked at on an
Exactly.
investigation when they say he was in danger? He's a
Exactly.
danger missing person. But all of a sudden, he is for this phone thing, they're saying, but then in reality, they're not seeing him as an endangered person. He's just somebody
Yep.
who'll come back, grab his things that they gave back to me unhurt. So
Yep.
those type of things is contradictory what they say in their report and their actions and things like that. So I'm holding that down. I'm marking that down too. So that's another strike against that department.
I agree completely. If he was in danger, then everything should have changed. If that's how the
Exactly.
detective felt,
They
that
wrote
was
this in
his
their report.
job.
They wrote in their report.
Yep, they did. He did. He's gonna mention it again later. He won't use
Yes.
the word danger, but he will say he's concerned about his well-being at this point. Again.
Right.
All right, let me keep going.
additional data would require a search warrant. Contact with friend Antonio. On June 27, 2021, I made contact with Antonio. Antonio talked to Daniel on the phone for 17 minutes on June 16th. Daniel seemed more hyper than usual, and was talking about two girls he met while delivering alcohol for blank. Daniel told him he hooked up with one of the girls. Daniel didn't have friends there yet and was very social and could be gullible. He told me about a post that Daniel made on Facebook on June 20th with a sun emoji and the words in four. The picture was with Luke, who'd been visiting Daniel until June 20th, 2021. Antonio later informed that Daniel had talked to another friend named Ruben Blank, who lived in Florida. His number is blank. Contact with friend Luke. I called and spoke with Luke, whom officers had already contacted previously. Luke was visiting Daniel up until June 20th, 2021. Luke was visiting because he is thinking about moving out to Phoenix. The post on Facebook was at the bar and had him in it, and he was referring to Suns in four, related to the Phoenix Suns basketball playoffs, and he was not aware of Daniel planning to leave anywhere. Luke did not mention any behavior that seemed unusual. Contact with friend Ruben. I called Ruben and he advised he spoke with Daniel on 6/22/2021 at about 3:25 p.m. Florida time, and they spoke for about 5 minutes. He said he was asking Daniel about vacation spots in Arizona and California, but Daniel seemed down and like something was on his mind. Ruben said the conversation was short and he did not know what was wrong. Daniel did not make any statements about hurting himself, but Ruben said that Daniel just seemed quote unquote off. Ruben said Daniel does like to hike and explore, and it is not unusual for him to take off and explore, but it is unusual for him to not stay in contact, and everyone is concerned for him. Ruben did not have any additional information to add. Updated T-Mobile data. On June 27, 2021, I received updated records from T-Mobile. The records only show 5 outgoing text messages before Daniel went missing. The records only show that a message was sent, but do not reveal the content of the message or call. The last text message at 8:10 a.m. on June 23rd to coworker Kenneth, who was the last person to see Daniel.
Okay,
It
hold on a
texted
second.
Caitlin on June 22nd.
I'm gonna have to go back through that again. Now they said the officer on the 27th had received an updated record from T-Mobile. Now I sat with him on that date, and that's the time I'm talking about the stroll stuff. They didn't get no updated record. They could show me any kind of updated record on paper. That'll be beyond me because they was unable to get anything. They constantly to this day, when I talk to them, asking me for copies of records and bank statements. I haven't done it yet, but I'm saying that's what they asked for. So that's what I'm talking. This is the part I was saying when they put it in as if they obtained some type of record, some kind of paper record when it's far from the truth. So that's what I'm talking about. Things like that bothers me, and I sit there and read that. And then not only with the text message, there's no text message on my son. I have his phone from him and the coworker on that date.
Yeah, that
Those were
was the
phone
first
calls.
I heard.
Excuse me.
That was the first I heard of that.
Right. Yeah. This is phone calls. Everything that's on my son's phone, I have it. It would be phone calls. So I know those phone calls, time and dates, but there wouldn't be anything like that on there. So it's some little things on there that is very off. I'm trying to figure out where they get that from. I have the phone. So I'm looking at it, So of course, I know. First of all, him and the guy didn't text each other. There's a phone call. So that's another problem with that. The text on the 22nd, I don't know. I was looking at that with the young lady. I have to look at that again for that 22nd at 3:07, where he's getting that from. I don't know if that came from the other person's report or not, where he got that from, but I need to look at that again too. but I'm saying on the records, because on the phone itself, there's nothing there to go by. So if they said they got it from the phone, well, why the phone wasn't white when they got it, and how they even had the phone in the first his phone if they said they got it from the phone. So I'm just trying to make sure what they're saying from the phone record or from the phone itself.
Right. This one, no, they said here they received updated records from
Records,
T-Mobile.
okay, that's right. And
Yeah.
I'm saying they don't. That's the date they was asking us scrolling down on the
Looking at the
phone.
phone.
Right, that's not updated records, right?
Oh, so yeah, because it doesn't say contacted T-Mobile. It says updated T-Mobile records. I mean, it could just be phrasing the way they're wording it like they got it.
It's word game. They play a lot of word games that I see, and that's why I say I stopped reading the report, because a lot of things I was reading in the past, old things just make me angry, and I just go ahead and move on. So that's why you guys, if you hear me say, "Oh, I didn't know this was in the report," or "that is a report," sometimes just hearing certain things, I just left it alone.
Yeah, I feel you. For real. Oh my God, how frustrating. Okay, so we know now that was from him basically looking at. That's why he said there was only 5 outgoing text messages before Daniel went missing. The record only shows that a message was sent, but do not reveal the content of the message or call. What kind of records? I mean, like 5 days of yeah, it just don't even make sense.
Okay, yeah.
Don't even worry about it. Okay, I'm gonna keep pushing. 2021 at 3:07 was noted by Officer Haley and confirmed time 3:07 on CDRs. Officer Haley's report quoted the last text Daniel sent to Kaylin on 6/22/2021. The message reads, "The world can get better, but I'll have to take all the time I can, or we can, whatever to name it. I'll either see you again or never see you again." There were 2 text messages outgoing to Stephen, the company boss, on blank, but there is no date here. Contact with apartment manager. Contact with apartment manager. On July 6th, 2021, Detective Favela and I made contact with Tiffany, who was the manager at Daniel's apartment complex. I filled her in on some basic information about Daniel's disappearance. Tiffany stated that Daniel's family had been there, but she was not able to provide entry to his apartment to them. She said that Buckeye Police Department had sent Tempe police officers to check out his apartment when Daniel went missing, but they did not make entry, only knocked on the door and received no answer. She advised that Daniel's employer paid his rent this month. Tiffany allowed us to enter the apartment to perform a welfare check. Daniel was not located in the apartment. The common areas of the apartment appeared to be well kept and clean, and no valuables appeared to be missing. There was no indication of foul play and no indication that Daniel had packed and planned a trip. Daniel did not appear to take his computers or valuable items. Daniel's bedroom was messy with clothes and miscellaneous items on the floor. I also observed what appeared to be marijuana blunts left on the counters and in various places in the apartment. Detectives exited the apartment and Tiffany secured the doors and windows. Desert checks. Previous to my involvement, Buckeye Police Department coordinated an aerial search by helicopter with negative results. Multiple patrol officers also circulated the desert area in 4x4 vehicles looking for Daniel over multiple days. On July 6, 2021, myself and Detective Favela searched the area by ground vehicle for several hours. We were not able to locate Daniel or his vehicle, but I did observe multiple mountain areas where Daniel may have wanted to explore.
Can you pause up a second?
Once off the service roads or trails,
I just want to see if there was a little difference in this report, because you said at the top there they said they was doing it for multiple days. Did I hear that? Because I was looking down reading, and I was trying to find that. in this report.
Which part would they?
The top of there say, previous to my involvement, Buckeye Police Department coordinated an aerial search by helicopter with negative results. Then it says multiple patrol officers also circulated the desert area in 4x4 vehicles looking for Daniel. But I declare, I just heard you say for multiple days, looking for him for multiple days. And if it says that, that's something they added because it's not in this report. I'm just trying to figure out that little one section. Yes.
Okay, let's
that's
see.
probably it right there.
Yeah, there it is. Maybe some involvement. Multiple officers.
Oh yeah, that's
days.
something added. Yeah, they added that. That's not here on this report. That multiple days is word added. So
yeah,
yes, okay.
I'm
going to mark that one too. That is something to cover behind, that type deal. They added 2 words to that sentence. I just noticed that.
Yeah, that's an excellent catch. And not only that, but I got to point out, so far we have heard about the helicopter being denied, and then all of a sudden they talk to Daniel's aunt and they decide, okay, it will be done. And then we hear a guy say, well, while they're doing that, I did this. And now you hear this guy saying, previous to my involvement, they did it, but we still have no report of this helicopter search.
And that's why, I'm working on that too, because see the flight records. They have to do flight records, especially Phoenix. Outside of that, it's close to the international airport, so some of that stuff have to be checked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Good. So there is. Go ahead and take that, David. We can wait.
Okay, I apologize.
No problem.
Dave Robinson.
No problem. You forgot to mute though, David. I'm gonna hear you. Did he get it? Yeah, he got it. Okay. Whew, this is good. This is interesting.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Well, that was quick.
Oh, yes.
And that's how my dad talks. He still be saying, okay, Dad, I love you.
Right.
All right. Oh my God. This is crazy. So they added that in there. In the report you have, it did not say that they were looking for Daniel over multiple days.
I need a copy of that report that you have, because what I want to do is compare, because I know some changes from the first report into this report. So now some changes from this report to that report. So I want to get all the reports I can and try to see all the word changes they put in, things like that. So it's kind of go through it with a fine-tooth comb and see. But only difference is I have to do this one by myself, because this is unredacted. The first 2 is unredacted, and I won't be able to share with other people. But that's something I have to do myself.
Okay. Yeah, and I know that's a lot. I'll email you this one. I definitely I downloaded it. Plus, like I said, Gray Hughes had sent me over the PDF, so I'll send it to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. All right, let's keep rolling.
Aerial search by helicopter with negative results. Multiple patrol officers also circulated the desert area in 4x4 vehicles looking for Daniel over multiple days. On July 6, 2021, myself and Detective Favela searched the area by ground vehicle for several hours. We were not able to locate Daniel or his vehicle, but I did observe multiple mountain areas where Daniel may have wanted to explore. Once off the service roads or trails, much of the desert area becomes challenging to traverse without the appropriate off-road vehicle. On July 7, 2021, I placed several flyers along the gated entrances to the desert area along Sun Valley Parkway, where Daniel was last seen, in hopes that workers, landowners, and those entering the area for other purposes may be aware of Daniel and his vehicle. I then went to Buckeye Airport and placed flyers with maps of Daniel's last known location in the pilot's lounge, so that those flying in the area can be on the lookout as well. While there, I contacted Michael Blank of Buckeye A&P Services, along with a few other pilots in his presence, and advised them of the search efforts and showed them the flyer and maps. I also emailed Michael a copy of the flyer and map to circulate to other pilots in the area. Civil Air Patrol search and rescue efforts. On July 7th, 2021, I reached out to the Civil Air Patrol commander for the unit based out of Glendale Airport. I was aware that CAP may assist with search and rescue efforts. My email was forwarded to Major Dallas Lane of the U.S. Air Force Auxiliary CAP. Major Lane is the Air Force Wing Search and Rescue Officer. I was able to speak with Major Lane on the phone, and he advised that he was getting things working with the Air Force and they would assist us in the search for Daniel. Major Lane advised that since Daniel had a vehicle and a last known location, there was a good possibility that they would be able to locate Daniel if he was in the area. Major Lane advised that they would use their trained CAP volunteers on the ground and in the air for the search, and he would require a Buckeye Police Department representative to accompany them. Major Lane said that he would work on getting a mission planned, but it may take a day or two to prepare. On July 9th, 2021, at 5:45 a.m., I met with Daniel's father, David, out at Sun Valley Parkway and Cactus Road. The search and rescue group from Civil Air Patrol was en route, and their first aircraft was set to leave Deer Valley Airport at 6 a.m.
You good? You got that laugh
Oh, no,
going. Big brain.
I was laughing because the timeline is wrong, but that's okay. That's some details that don't really matter. But yeah, they was out there, but there's a timeline. They was late actually. I was there at that time, 5:45. Actually at 5 o'clock, but they didn't show it till like 8. So that I just kind of laughed. I thought that was funny. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is funny, but it's also a lie.
Yeah, that's the time they told me they was gonna be out there. I didn't tell them I was coming. Grabbed, just got up there early and sat there and waited. So
Well,
yeah.
I ain't mad at you at all for that. Hi, Jewels of Thought. Thank you so much, sweetheart. I appreciate that. Good to see you up in
Do I
here.
need to take some quick questions, or you want to?
It's completely up to you. You're a pro now. You got your YouTube up.
No, I'm not
Steven.
pro yet, but I just want to ask some questions real quick, and I can do that, and then go back into lunch.
Clearly, neither am I, right? I just disconnected the whole live prior to this. Let
Oh
me
yeah,
see.
that's right. Oh, okay. So you can't see the.
No, I can. I'm scrolling. I'm scrolling right now. Let me
Okay.
see.
Okay.
Did Daniel have Leslie B is asking? She said, curious to know if there were any other platforms that could have been used for correspondence. Did Daniel have WhatsApp or something else? Do you know?
I wouldn't know. I didn't see those type apps on his phone, so I don't know.
They probably would have deleted them too, I would think, Leslie, because they
Right.
would have
Yeah.
had more conversation in there. And
That's a
that's
good idea. I can try to load it back on his phone and see, if his
yeah,
account there, it may reload some of that stuff up. I'm not sure. But,
that's true. That's true. It might. It might.
right.
Okay, let me see. I'm back. I'm going back. You guys, if
That's a
you
good
have
idea. Thank you for asking that question, because that's a good idea to try. At least try.
yeah, gotta try everything too. That's Leslie B. She's so sweet. Let me see. Let me see. Oh, I went far back. You guys, nope. They just been chilling and making comments more so to the sloppy work and the information changing. You knew absolutely right. Um, Leanne said it's weird because one thing doesn't equal the other. Does that make sense? I mean, yeah, exactly. More BS, you knew. Ooh, you knew got heated. No, I feel you though. It doesn't make sense. It's their literal jobs. This detective though, from the first initial review, he had his mind made up.
Right. Right.
That
Yeah.
killed it.
It's some of that this aggravation, just seeing them do certain things the way they do it, and you know.
Oh, perfect. John said he just emailed you a copy of the report that we have.
What was that? Oh, he did. He sent it to me.
He just emailed it to you. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Perfect. And you're welcome, Leslie. Adoptionscams.com said, where
where were shoes found? When I think about how his clothes were laid out, do you think his shoes were thrown?
Well, one was a few feet away from the pile of clothing, like if you want to say area south of where the clothes are thrown, but not far, just a couple feet, probably like about about 3 feet away. One was there, and one was tucked under the front end of the vehicle. That was the side, the passenger side. So the other one was sitting on top of the roof shade, you can say, um, that was on the front end of that vehicle. So there's two different places. I don't know why, but yeah.
Okay. Let me make sure I don't want to butcher her name. Let me read this. Batia Maleka said Caitlin wrote that message to perpetrate the idea that Daniel intended to harm himself. That's what I think.
Yeah, that sound well. I'm just gonna keep my mouth closed as the
I
father. I'm just gonna say
understand.
that's my opinion. Yes, it sounds plausible.
It sounds very
Just for
plausible.
legal reasons, you know.
Right. Yeah, yeah, understood. It sounds very plausible. That's the perfect way to put it.
Right.
Let me uh
How many police reports are there? There are so far, I'm thinking five, because I have the first two. The first one I received was when my son's vehicle was first found, because I went up there, like I said, to try to get me to remove that. Some reason that detective, first of all, he's showing to me, was trying to get me to touch the vehicle first. He was doing everything he can to get me to touch that vehicle, open the door, whatever the case may be. It wasn't because I was being smart, it's because I was being stunned when I saw my son's vehicle like that for the first time. I never saw it in real life, but to see it that way, this was the thing my son was in. I was stunned. I couldn't touch it. He was trying his best to get me to do it. Hey, open the door, go in there and look in there, that type of deal. When I finally told him I had enough, I want to get out of there, that's when
right.
he threatened me and say, well, you need to get out of here today. If you don't, you're going to have a toll. You're going to have to pay these storage fees, that type of deal. Like I said, so make a long story short, I decided to have this, I've secured a meeting with Chief Hall and his whole entire staff, Chief Sanders and all the rest of them,
Mm-hmm.
detectives and everybody. And also had a reserver, a recorded, and had a reserver from the NAACP, and in that meeting, and that's when I demanded the forensic work that you guys see with the fingerprinting, and the pictures they claimed they had. They only gave me one picture. Chief Hall kept using the word plural pictures with S,
Yeah.
and it made me uptight. So to make a long with story that, after that point was what I'm making is with the report, coming in, they gave me a partial report because I said I need a report of everything you guys done. You say, okay, this is partial, but we'll have the full report for you later because they didn't have it. They gave me everything. My son, they said they're not investigating. They take it as my son. I realized after I got my investigator that they saw him as coming back to get his things. They told me they weren't investigating. They was giving my son things, and they gave me the full report after that. That's why I had two reports initially, unredacted. Was because they gave me a full report and they said that was it. But then I was making so much of stink, they was going around, I guess, doing the supplementary stuff. That's probably why they added these little things in the sentence to cover they behind.
Yeah.
And so things start changing because next thing I know it was another report. And then the media coming to me and say, hey, they got a new report. I'm like, how they got a new report? I have the reports here. So I ended up
Yeah.
getting the third report. Then when I got the third report, I heard there's another report came out before I can catch up. I don't know how many reports it is. I'm guessing 5.
Wow. That's crazy. Hi, Elizabeth.
Yeah, it's changing up.
Mhm. No, she just popped in. She just popped in. Said, hi, my sweet friends. Yeah, they love. Disrespectful. Yep, that applies. Don't make no sense. It's just been handled so poorly. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand. And as I'm reading the report, I'm saying there are times when it seemed like at least two, I don't know if it was, I don't want to say the wrong name. One of these officers seemed like they really wanted to do more, but it was like it's one of those situations where you got to just do what your job is, and it is what it is.
it's out of your control. You have no power.
That's right.
So they had to just keep it pushing. But I can't even remember which one. Not to give any of them credit, but if you're just one lonely officer that sees something wrong and nobody gives a damn about your opinion, you can't do much. But I feel like there was at least one of those in this case somewhere. At least maybe I'm just hopeful.
That's right. Yes. Yes.
Okay, let me scroll down to the bottom here. I went all the way. Scroll down
This stuff will
here.
give you a headache.
Oh no, no. Actually, I'm enjoying being able to just go through this with you. We all want
Yeah,
this
it's
clarity.
tough. I'm glad you're going through it with me because, like I said, after a certain point, after that third report, I started seeing things they were
Yeah,
saying in there. I just, threw it all, the whole report out pretty much. I didn't. They started saying, "Hey, it's a new one out." I didn't bother about reading it because I'm hearing things from the reporters like, "Where that come from?" Things like that. So it wasn't worth
yeah,
my time looking at something that people just throwing together and putting in black and white to cover their behinds or whatever they're doing, and then I have to be subject to it. No, no, don't worry. I'll make my own report, my family report that would be coming out against this report. So, the truth, and those things will be backed up by certain things. Um, this one part of state. That's all I got to say. One part of state.
and do they all have the okay, exactly, and keep that up.
Right.
Keep that up. Um, because they know what they're doing, and they appreciate this last report because that's the one they made sure to get into the hands of the media.
Right. Right.
They volunteered that in that little clip I showed at the beginning of our first live before the disconnect. The whole she says, we got a report from Buckeye. I think it's in the video, the little 8-hour video too. But she says we got an updated report from Buckeye. Like they couldn't wait to get that to the media.
Yeah, they give it
And
to the media. They don't want to put that report out to the media. I didn't put it out. They put the
yeah,
report out to the media,
he
and not
said
only that, the reporter came to me and asked me about this young lady, and the thing was highlighted. You know what I'm saying? They said, told me they literally gave it to her like that, highlighted with this yellow
wow,
highlight. So they highlighted an area for them to talk about.
wow,
So that thing to me was at the time my response to the media was it's a distraction and it is character assassination. That's all it, to me it was at that
yeah.
point. So now I dig deep into it, then I see what you're talking about. It's constantly beating that narrative, beating that same drum.
Yeah,
So
they
yes,
did. They did. Even if you read it and never met you and didn't, have critical thinking, you would just be like, yeah, he got weird and leave it at
right,
that.
right,
He got
exactly,
weird. It was whatever it was, he left because he wanted to. You don't think about the car no more, nothing.
right,
And
exactly.
that's terrible.
Distraction. That's all the
Terrible.
distraction from their lack of work at the beginning.
Yep, exactly. And because how you gonna just, I mean, I guess integrity is not an option. Hey, we messed up, but we're backpedaling and we're gonna figure this thing out. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
do
that's
you have different police report numbers?
and I know I saw Lakeisha put that up, and I would look at each one of those, and I'll let you know.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, because they do have it at the top there. So, yeah, I'll have to look at that. I didn't think about that either. I don't know if that number's different or not, but I'll check them and see.
Yeah, shouldn't
But I know
be.
the page is different. A lot of the stuff that's written, when I look at you look at the page number when you start your thing. What I reading is not on the same page. In other words, so that let me know that someone's either added or taken away because
Right.
they don't fit the same page numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like you may be on. I'm on page 26, and that's where you at. I'm not sure what page that is. I forgot where you was at, but it's always different. So two
Can't
different
see it
pages.
right now, but yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah. You're right. Look, Sherry said it best. Read that comment right there. That's for you. I'm gonna let you take that one.
Redaction, retraction, additions, very suspicious. Okay, on PD's part, trying to cover that. Yeah, yeah, that's my opinion. That's my
There
opinion.
it is.
Yes,
And that's exactly why the page numbers are off. And then that's what you were saying. Yeah, because you taking
right.
away, adding in, so you throwing stuff off. Who
Like
needs to write the report 4 times? Are you
right, for
serious?
instance,
Why?
we have there on the bottom, they had the date of the 19th of September. On this now, this is the weird part. On this one, they have August the 4th, 2021, on the date on the bottom of this. Like right down here on the bottom of your screen, if you look at that
September
corner, it says
23rd?
9/23/21. This at 8/4/21. So
So this is, yeah, that
right,
tells you they did that one earlier.
right.
This is the later version. Wow.
So it's a lot of things being,
Unless they were adding in new evidence,
oh,
new
right. Like
witnesses.
that. Yeah, they
Yeah,
add in some what's called supplementary stuff,
yeah,
whatever. Yeah,
yeah. Otherwise, there's no reason to do a new report, especially when you're taking away stuff like many days or several days. Little stuff like that means you was up to no good.
right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I marked that right there because I thought I was reading along with you. I'm like, wait a minute, what's did I just hear you say days? Or
Yes,
days?
that was a
Wait
really
a
good
minute.
catch. I'm
Right.
glad
Yeah.
you're following along. Awesome sauce. This is perfect.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's working out.
Yep, it is. Yes, it is. Hi, Sherry. And Doctora is in the building. Doctora, I was sleeping like a baby this morning. Um,
Wonderful lady. Yes, I just spoke with her earlier. Thank
did you?
you.
Awesome. So glad y'all connected. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, we'll keep rolling. We'll see my page number in a minute. It won't show right now, but we'll see. Yeah. I advised David that he would not be able to accompany us for this search per Civil Air Patrol procedures. I also informed him that in the unfortunate event that this turned into a criminal investigation, I needed to maintain the integrity of the search. David understood and stayed near the roadway during a portion of the search operation. The search operation ran from 6 a.m. until about noon. Two aircraft completed 4 searches. A map of the area searched has been attached to this case. Major Lane met with his crew later that evening to review the data and decided to send another plane out on July 10, 2021, to follow up on some of the areas that they wanted to search further. Major Lane advised that the aircraft flew for a few hours, double checking several areas, but were not able to locate any signs of Daniel or his vehicle. It is important to note that the search boundaries are closely related to roads or trails, where if Daniel had reached these points, he could have gone in any direction.
Can you pause that again?
Major Lane advised that they would gladly assist with further searches if new.
And also for them, first of all, I was there the whole entire time. They did these searches. I have video footage of that. Civil Air Patrol, like I said, they did tell me. Not only did they tell me that I couldn't come into the gate because I did ask, right, and he did tell me that I
Right.
was allowed to come in. They further made sure I didn't come in when they found us. They sat there for almost 2 hours at the gate. Um, Matter of fact, it wasn't two aircrafts, it was only one. They had one plane that came by and did one flyby, one, literally. One flyby going each direction up north, but one flyby, right? One
Yeah.
plane, two. Second of all, like I say, when they finally, the Civil Air Patrol, after they urinating on the ground, all kind of stuff in front of my family,
Oh my God.
they took off, went down in that desert, I'm sure, towards that um, uh, well site area, but they made sure they left one vehicle there, and he turned his vehicle sideways so I couldn't come behind him in that gate. So
Wow.
that's one thing that I can point out. I just wanted to point that part out because that was to me why you didn't want me to come past that gate. They're there. I get it. Somebody interrogated of the. I mean, heck, they came out there when I invited them and walking the ground. Well, they had one also walking around uh, when I was doing had the volunteers were doing their line search. Why was the interrogator? What kind of again? I'm saying the whole point is what's wrong with
Yeah.
them being there to watch them search? Saying if they was doing that. Second of all, I have to this date, though they have this in the report, but I have never to this date been told by that department that they did another search even after that. Saying from Civil Air Patrol came back another day. So some of the stuff in here I ask questions about, but I let them have that. I let them have that.
Mm.
But, it seemed far from reality to me. Oh yeah, one thing I do want to point out, if you're still there, you can hear me. I think I lost you.
about that.
Did
Can
I
you hear
lose
me
you?
okay?
Okay, I can hear you now. You hear me? Can you hear
Yes,
me?
my phone got low. Someone tried to call and I'm on this phone. Go ahead. Go ahead. You were gonna say something. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, but I just want to make sure everybody also realize that if they say they did all of the certain type of searches, and that vehicle was there where they end up finding it, right? Mind you, my son's vehicle wasn't found almost 30 days later, and they say they searched that whole area, right? The trails to whatever. Why didn't they see this vehicle, right? And if they did multiple flyovers that they claim they did, why they didn't find the vehicle? They did the ground searches they claim they did. Why didn't they find that vehicle? So you got to keep counting it. Why didn't they find the vehicle? And if they didn't find the vehicle and the vehicle showed up, they should ask themselves the question, why didn't we find this vehicle? That means the vehicle wasn't there and something suspicious about that. So, it's all kind
Yeah,
of ways you look at this and say, hey, this is criminal, but they refusing,
right.
like you said, to go any kind of direction towards that for whatever apparent reason.
Yep, I agree. Either that or did you look? I mean, that's
Yeah, did
like
you look at all? Because if they look,
yeah,
certain things we found human remains near those areas that they claim they searched. We found a skull
right.
near where the vehicle, on a few hundred feet from where the vehicle was eventually
Mm,
found. So
mm, mm.
there's different things like that. If you was there actually doing the search, you claim, why you coming up empty-handed? So every time.
Right.
So when we come in as volunteers and a father coming up with all kind of stuff, clothing on the ground near the well site with my son missing in the pile, just like my son's clothing. We don't
Oh
hear
my
about
God.
that. That people don't talk about that because we put it out there, but somehow it don't stick. So I want to make us
Wow.
in our searches. We found things like that. Somebody else clothes was in a pile. Everything he was wearing, we knew it was my son because the pant size was too big, and but
Wow.
all his things was on the ground. Whoever it belongs to, turn that over to the Buckeye Police Department. You don't hear anything else about it. So
Wow.
there's something going on in that area anyway. So the thing is,
That's crazy.
that type of thing. So they don't find anything, but we do. You can put a construction cone out there, and they claim they couldn't find it because the brush is too high or something. That type deal.
Yeah.
So that make me question that they really do searches like they say they have. Things like that.
Yeah, you have every right to question it. Like y'all be half looking if you are looking.
Exactly. Exactly.
Wow.
All right.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Keep it rolling. All
we're gonna
right.
yeah, we're gonna get through this.
Okay. Let's do. Yeah, we definitely go. We gonna do this. We're doing really good though, and thank you for being here, David.
No, thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. New information became available. Follow up at Circle K in Goodyear. Buckeye Police Department received a call from a citizen who saw the missing persons flyer. The citizen reported that she believed Daniel was working at the Circle K, located at the southwest corner of Pebble Creek Parkway and West McDowell Road. On July 6, 2021, I made contact with a clerk who advised they had a male subject named Malachi, who was similar to Daniel, that was working there. She said Malachi had been there a couple of months but didn't have a vehicle and didn't have his phone number or any identifiable information. She advised he was missing an arm and he looked similar to Daniel. She also advised that Malachi would be at work after 10 a.m. on July 7th, 2021. On 7/7/2021, at about 11:30 a.m., I conducted follow-up at the Circle K. I observed Malachi working. Malachi did not resemble Daniel in the face, and he was missing the opposite arm. I visually confirmed this was not Daniel. I also did not see Daniel's vehicle in the parking lot. Follow up at Valleywise Behavioral Health. On July 9, 2021, while I was out on the search operation, dispatch received a call from an anonymous citizen who advised that she might have seen Daniel being brought into the Valleywise Behavioral Health Center. I made phone calls to the facility, but due to privacy laws was not able to get any information over the phone. Phoenix Police Department dispatched a patrol officer to the facility who advised that Daniel had not been a patient there. Detective Favela contacted Phoenix Police Officer Terry Lacker, who is a community action officer in that area. Officer Lacker conducted extensive follow-up with the facility and confirmed with absolute certainty that the subject was not Daniel, and Daniel had not been at that facility under his name or any other name. I then contacted CIT Officer Cosgrove and requested he assist with checking all of the local mental health facilities again. Officer Cosgrove worked with his contacts and determined that Daniel was not listed as a patient at any of the local mental health facilities. Follow up with blank. On July 11th, 2021, I recontacted blank by email. I expressed to them that Daniel was still missing, not a criminal investigation. I would not likely be able to obtain warrants. I expressed concern for Daniel's ability to survive in the desert at this point. I also advised blank that Daniel's sister was the account holder, and she would give consent to obtain any historical information or data related to Daniel going missing. I received a phone call from blank security team about an hour later. The rep advised that he got approval to run searches dating back to June 21st, 2021. He advised that there was no location data. He explained that things like connecting to Wi-Fi could have caused him not to use cell towers if calls were made, and he further advised that text messages wouldn't always show location data based on the way data is routed through their network. He also advised they performed searches to see if Daniel's phone showed up any test signals sent out by blank after his disappearance, and it did not. At this point, blank has not been able to provide any location data for Daniel's phone related to June 23rd, 2021. Media release. Since Daniel's case has received national media attention and several people have expressed interest in assisting with search efforts, I decided to release to the public information about where we have searched. I contacted Sergeant Z. Astrup, who handles PIO releases, and provided him with details about what our agency has done and provided him with the search maps to be released as well. All of the information was released to the media and on the police department's social media pages to raise public awareness in hopes that Daniel would be located. Bank information. On July 15, 2021, I spoke with David Blank by phone. He advised that Daniel's brother was able to access Daniel's account and noted a purchase on June 23, 2021 at a Shell service station in Buckeye. David sent me a screenshot, but it did not provide time and specific location information. There are 3 Shell stations in Buckeye, one of which is close to the job site. I reached out to David again on July 16th to see if he was able to get additional details so that I could send an officer to secure video. He advised he was waiting on his other son to send the information, which would be within a few hours. On July 18, 2021, I received a message from David with screenshots of Daniel's blank and blank accounts. Among the charges, the following may be of value. Charges redacted. Facebook post. On July 16, 2021, it was brought to my attention that a person made a post to Facebook indicating that a vehicle similar to Daniel's was seen near Jackrabbit and Elliott Road in Buckeye. I checked Facebook and located the post under the missing persons flyer. The poster was listed as Tiger Blank, whom I discovered was Tony Blank with contact information in BPD's database. I contacted Tony by telephone and he advised his wife saw a vehicle parked in the desert near some bushes off of Jackrabbit Road before Elliott. He was not sure which direction she was traveling. Tony forwarded to me the picture his wife took, which was too blurry to properly identify. I did notice immediately that the wheels on the vehicle in the photo were gray, while the wheels on Daniel's Jeep are black. I then contacted Buckeye's dispatch and provided the information. I requested that a patrol officer check the area before it got dark if a unit is available, or to contact MCSO for a deputy to do an area check. Daniel's vehicle was not located.
What stop? You good?
Daniel's vehicle located.
You good right there, but I want to put in some context in that too. That was brought to my attention about this gentleman putting that picture up on Buckeye's Facebook page.
Yes.
I was alerted by my family members out of town who told me to look at that. I in turn inboxed the gentleman and asked him about it. They gave me my information, my phone number. He texted to me. He asked him where it was located. He told me. I looked at the picture. It looked similar to me. I didn't have seen my son's vehicle before, but it had the same shape and features. I don't know about this gray tires that the detective's talking about, but it looked like it to me.
Right.
And so I immediately called the detective, and I was like, "Hey, look, calling from my hotel room and say, look, I saw this gentleman told him the story, put it on his page, and that I was going to told him about the vehicle, what it looked like, and I was going up to check it out. Before I could finish my sentence, he cut me off and said, "That's not your son's vehicle." I asked him how he know that. He said, "Oh, it's not your son's vehicle." I said, "Well, can you check to make sure?" And he said, kind of give me a little hesitation. I say, "I need you to go out there and make sure it's not my son's vehicle." I said,
Mm-hmm.
"Okay, well, I'll send a patrol car out there." And I said, "Great." So got dressed and got things ready to go out there. Before I can fully get dressed, it took me a minute to get dressed. The gentleman called me back and say, "Hey, Mr. Robinson, I just went out there to check again. That vehicle's gone." So I was like, "What do you mean gone?" He said, "Yeah, it was just here, but I went back up there and it's gone."
Right.
Okay, well, I'm still going up there anyway. I called the detective back again. I told him, I say, "Somebody removed that vehicle. Do you know?" Oh, look, well, I did back up a little bit. I tell the gentleman, "Hey," I said, "Wait a minute, how's it going?" Buckeye said they're going to send a patrol car out there. He said, "Yeah, I seen the patrol car, but passed me, but the vehicle's gone." So I called the detective back, try to figure out where the vehicle was towed. To this day, they won't tell me where it was towed and who towed it, right?
Wow.
That's when I'm saying 2 days later, here it is, the vehicle showed up. So they're saying the 16th, but it was 2 days later, the vehicle showed up. I would say that vehicle, but a vehicle, well, my son's vehicle showed up in
Right.
that desert out there. So one of the
So
things that
sad.
bothered me is that I just want to put that context out there that those transactions when he sent a patrol car out there is because I requested it. And the second part is, I don't see anything when he's seeing that picture that was just automatic. It is blurry. To automatically say it wasn't my son's vehicle.
No,
So
you know what? I didn't see it either.
right, right,
I didn't see it either. There's no way. There's no way you can just rule that right out.
right, exactly.
Not from that
And
image.
then
You
the
have
point that
to.
they're going to tell me who told it away. I inquired, for them to get the information, in which they can, because anytime a tow company pull a vehicle, they had to report that. Especially if
Right.
something's sitting on the side of the road and they were doing a recovery, they
Abandoned.
have to put it in a database because the owner could come looking for it and they'll know exactly which tow company has it. So those things that had to be uploaded. So
Isn't it ironic that it was just gone just that fast? And then that
right,
Daniel's car showed up 2 days later.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah, it's a coincidence, but not really. It's something you got to look into. Yep. Sus
Definitely.
Buckeye smells fishy, you knew. Exactly.
That's right.
Oh,
Okay,
God.
I'm ready
Okay.
again.
Noted. All right, let's roll. Hmm.
That's right.
On July 19, 2021, at about 8:54 in the morning, Mark Blank, a local rancher slash landowner in Buckeye, contacted Buckeye police to advise that he located a Jeep Renegade, which he believed to belong to the missing Daniel Robinson. He gave the license plate and advised that there were no in the vehicle. I advised dispatch to send a beat officer to the area to meet with the reporting party and stand by for detectives. Sergeant Hanneman and I then coordinated additional resources to include off highway vehicles and a mobile command trailer. I then responded to the area and met with Blank and his partner Shannon. We met off of Sun Valley Parkway between mile 113 and 114 on the west side of the road. We then took the dirt road to the Power Line Road, which was marked with an orange flag, and headed north. From there, we traveled to another intersection and turned west towards Blank Corral area. He then led me down another dirt road to a mountain. A blank were utilized to get to the top. I then observed Daniel's 2017 blank on its passenger side. The GPS coordinates were noted blank. The vehicle was facing northwest. The vehicle had significant damage and appeared to have had a front impact with the dirt and rolled before resting on the passenger side. One piece of the Jeep's black removable roof was on the ground, partially wedged under the front of the Jeep. The driver's front window was shattered, and I located glass on the ground consistent with the Jeep rolling one time. There was also substantial damage to the lower front end and damage to the top of the windshield and roof. All of the interior airbags appeared to have been deployed. I observed jeans inside out, 2 brown work-type boots, a faded orange vest with the blank company logo, a t-shirt, and 2 socks which were inside out. I could see the outline of what appeared to be a wallet in the pocket of the jeans. I walked the same path to the vehicle which Blank had walked and did not observe any persons inside the vehicle. The vehicle was relatively clean on the outside, but it had been 3 or more big rains in this area since Daniel went missing. There was evidence of rain damage on the inside of the Jeep and a hard hat inside filled with rainwater. I located Daniel's Samsung Galaxy S10 cell phone, the vehicle and apartment keys, and a backpack with Daniel's work laptop and other documents inside. There were also other miscellaneous items inside the car, like clothing, a basketball, unopened water bottles, and other items. I did not observe any blood or any other evidence of an injury despite the substantial damage to the vehicle. I checked the area and did not observe any indication that Daniel spent a considerable amount of time at the vehicle. There were no empty water bottles or other items other than Daniel's clothing in the area. There were no tire tracks immediately surrounding the vehicle that weren't made by the caller or detectives. I checked the top of the hill to the east of the vehicle and located some tracks that ran to the east and appeared to have been rained on since they were left and were hard to see. After some further investigation, detectives believed that Daniel's vehicle left the dirt roadway where it ended south of his job site near an open dirt area and proceeded up the hillside. It appeared that he drove over several bushes before ending up in the ravine. The vehicle was still in drive when it was found. The area was photographed and processed by BPD's crime scene manager, and those photos uploaded to evidence.com. Daniel's cell phone was dead, and I removed it and the keys along with his backpack from the vehicle. I then located his wallet with IDs and multiple debit and credit cards inside the jeans. There was no cash in the wallet. Detectives with BPD's Major Crimes Unit and General Investigations arrived on the scene along with Chief Hall, Assistant Chief Sanders, and multiple patrol officers. Deputy Clancy with MCSO and his partner from the Search and Rescue Group arrived with trucks and off-road vehicles. Chief Hall arranged for a radio channel to link the various agencies. An DPS Ranger helicopter was dispatched to conduct a low-altitude, thorough search of the area. Officer Price also arrived with BPD's drone and took aerial photos. BPD and MCSO personnel were in the area approximately 18 hours and searched the area by foot and with off-road vehicles. MCSO posse members arrived around 8 o'clock p.m. with approximately 6 to 7 cadaver and tracking dogs and set up a 4-quadrant search for Daniel. The dogs and their handlers searched for approximately 5 hours with no results. It should be noted that detectives and other searchers encountered one mountain lion in the area, but did not find any evidence that indicated Daniel had been attacked or encountered the animal.
I had to get some little context
Prior
real
to
quick.
nightfall, Daniel's clothing was collected from the ground.
No, I just wanted to put some little context there.
Okay, let's do it.
In my they didn't interview the rancher statement, but I do have a statement from him, and some of those things includes the fact that there wasn't, according to him, cadaver dogs and all that stuff. Is only one dog. So I want to make sure that's clear. That's what they have in the report, but I'm really working on that to prove that point. It wasn't 6 or 7 cadaver dogs. There was only one dog. Matter of fact, that week those other dogs was he was told was in training.
Oh
So
my
they
God.
brought one dog, which was a tracking dog. They brought him out there like 10 o'clock that night to go search. That dog, they came back like almost an hour later saying that the dog's been stalked by a mountain lion. So they had to take the dog back in and leave with the dog. And as in for the low altitude aircraft, there is less they haven't given to me, but they told me Chief Hall told me he gave me every picture that they had in that meeting. I have nothing that says even indicate they even took any photos or any kind of thing from an aircraft other than drones. So it's nothing but drone footage, marked drone footage, things like that. So questioning the helicopters. According to the rancher, there was no helicopters. You know what I'm saying? So things like that. So I look at this part. That's what made me frustrated with this report, hearing two different stories. One from the account of the rancher who was there, who actually even told me that he changed the razor. They bought one razor, probably the same razor they bring when I invite them out to my searches. They always bring that same one razor, and they brought it there with a flat tire. He had to even change the tire. So things like that I've been hearing, and we have that testimony. He, with him and his wife came out. So those type deals like that. Just hearing that stuff which you don't see in the report or any account from that rancher, what he found and observed and things like that. Just only that he found the vehicle, and then also I'm at to hear things that to me when I hear the story from the rancher and what they actually gave me was consistent. This rancher told me about it was nothing but drone footage before they gave me the drone footage. You know what I'm saying? So they didn't give me no helicopter footage and things like that. So it was really, really consistent to what he told me and what they actually gave me. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there.
Okay, got you. And his wallet, phone, and backpack with laptop were also collected and taken to Buckeye Police Department for safekeeping. Easy Towing arrived with a 4x4 truck to recover the vehicle. The vehicle was then transported to Buckeye Police Department Property and Evidence Impound until Daniel's family could be notified. At Mr. Blank's request, I arranged for a tarp to be placed on the vehicle to preserve and prevent continued exposure to rain and dirt. Contact with David. On 7/20/2021,
Stop
I
that real quick.
contacted David and
One more time.
advised
One
him
more time. Keep
we had
stopping.
located.
Stopping. I know I'm stopping, but what was kind of
No, I
funny
told
to me
you to stop me. That's
is
fine.
what's kind of weird is that they said Mr. That part. I requested them to put a tarp on that vehicle because they told me I had to get it out of there. I was concerned because it was supposed to be raining in the area. I called the detective and asked him to cover that vehicle up. Can I bring a tarp? Actually, can I bring a tarp up there to do it? He told me he would do it for me. I told him I appreciate it. So that's who it is that when they say, no, I'm sure it was redacted on your end, but it was myself that requested that. I just want to make sure you guys didn't even know that part. But then at the same time, they come back later and they say, a contact with David, which was me myself, of course. But I'm saying is they didn't have to hide that part because I don't want to
Right.
request that. Yeah. So I don't
I
want to
did.
make it
I
appear
did
like
kind of assume that too,
right,
personally.
right,
You
yeah,
asked them to do that, and
right.
they
Because
try to write it
that
right.
was my property. They turned it over to me. It was sitting in that compound. I was sitting there literally trying to figure out how I was gonna get it out of there. That type deal.
Wow, unbelievable. Okay, got it.
Thank
No problem, David. Thank you.
you.
Here we go.
Located Daniel's vehicle. He agreed to meet with me at Buckeye Police Department later that day for a full brief. Mr. Robinson arrived and we discussed the circumstances surrounding Daniel's vehicle being located and the search effort. David was visibly upset by our findings, but thankful for our continued efforts to find Daniel. I advised David that I would like to look at the crashed computer in Daniel's Jeep and in Daniel's phone
You okay? Keep going.
to see if either item would yield information about what happened and where Daniel may have gone. David agreed and wanted us to do whatever we needed to do. I explained to David that there are many possibilities, and we will continue to investigate and follow up on any leads or new information. I then took David to see Daniel's Jeep. Crash data. On July 21st, 2021, Officer Price was able to download the crash data from the vehicle's black box. He advised me that the Jeep did not record the date and time of the crash event, but said that the vehicle was going about 30 miles per hour at the time the airbags deployed. Private investigator Blank also conducted an investigation into the vehicle once they took possession of it. I later received the IVE vehicle download from the Jeep's information system from PI Blank and his associates. Further review of the CDR report is 32 pages long. The report indicates that the ignition cycle at the time of the download was 6,850. The drive seat belt was buckled at the time of the crash. The ignition cycle at the time of the crash was 6,805. This indicates that the ignition was cycled 44 times after the crash event, including the cycle by Officer Price for the download. The odometer reading at the time of the crash event was 58,154. The report indicated the airbag light was not illuminated at the time of the crash. I then reviewed the data from the IVE report from the infotainment system, which was downloaded by PI Blank and his associates. I observed data related to June 23rd, 2021, are in UTC time, and are converted to Arizona time in this report. 6:26 a.m. Odometer is 58,055. 7:01 a.m. Odometer is 58,091.99. Google indicates that the distance from Daniel's residence to the Shell station at 1520 North Verrado Way is approximately 37 miles with a 35 to 40 minute drive. The time and distance between these odometer readings is consistent with Daniel driving from home to the Shell station. Additionally, data recovered from the Shell station indicates that Daniel was at the Shell station between 7 a.m. and 7:03 on June 23rd, 2021. 7:22 a.m. Odometer is 58,093.24. This is a distance of approximately 1.25 miles. A photo in Daniel's cell phone places him at a job site on Verrado Way, south of I-10, after leaving the Shell station. The coordinates attached to the image data are blank. Google indicates this is approximately 1.1 miles, but may vary based on the exact path taken. This is consistent with Daniel leaving the Shell station and going to the site on Verrado Way where he took the photos, of work logs. It is unknown what time Daniel left the site on Verado. 8:35 a.m. Odometer is 58,112.50. This is a difference of 19.26 miles. Google indicates that the distance between the site off of Verado Way to Sun Valley Parkway and Cactus Road is about 22.9 miles via I-10. 9 a.m. Odometer is 58,129.90. This is a difference of 17.4 miles since the previous odometer reading. 9:06 a.m. is captured again at 58,129.90. 12:54 in the afternoon, odometer is 58,153.51. The difference in time and distance between the last two odometer readings is approximately 23.6 miles, with about 4 hours time passing. Based on this information, it is unclear where Daniel went between the Verado job site and the Sun Valley Parkway job site. It is also unclear where he went between leaving the Sun Valley Parkway job site and the scene where his vehicle was later located. The infotainment report indicated that Daniel's Galaxy S10 Plus was last connected to the vehicle's Bluetooth system at 2:12 p.m. UTC, which is equal to 7:12 a.m. Arizona time. Please see Officer Price's supplement for further explanation of the CDR crash data and his download process. The completed 32-page report from the vehicle download is attached to this case file. The 756-page IVE report is also attached to this case. After reviewing the data over the course of several days, I began researching high-level accident reconstruction experts for possible assistance in reviewing the data and the scene. On September 13, 2021, I was able to get in touch with Ann Blank and shared with him Daniel's story. I am currently blank and will update this report once that review is completed. Daniel's cell phone. On July 21st, 2021, I was able to complete a full file system extraction from Daniel's phone. At the time of this report, the data is still under review, and this portion of the report will be updated as that is completed. My initial observations show that Daniel took 2 photos of work-related logs and equipment. On June 23, 2021, at about 7:10 a.m., the metadata in the images provided GPS coordinates showing they were taken at a well site near Verado Road, south of Interstate 10 in Buckeye. It is believed Daniel stopped at this job site before then moving to the job site off of Sun Valley Parkway. I located the conversation between Daniel and Caitlin in the trash folder and found it was consistent with the statement Caitlin gave to police in Officer Haley's supplement. Daniel had been showing up at Caitlin's residence unannounced, and after discussing the issue, Caitlin politely asked Daniel to leave her alone.
Now,
Okay, it's out of context, right? Why?
Yeah.
Where did Caitlin come from?
yeah, and I want to see this this trash folder because he don't have a trash folder on his phone. So where did he get that from? I want to find that in his phone. So I'll be looking at tonight to see what he's talking about. Yeah, because if it's there, it's there. If it's not there, I mean he deleted it. So I want to find that.
Yeah, definitely make a note of that then.
A trash folder in his phone. Interesting.
It had nothing in, I mean, it's so weird. So he says at 7:10, the metadata had images showing that he was at work.
Right.
It's believed that Daniel stopped at the job site before then moving to the site off of Sun Valley Parkway. Then he jumps into, I located the conversation between Daniel and Caitlin in the trash folder and found it was consistent with the statement Caitlin gave. Like, Caitlin has nothing to do with this.
And I'm trying to figure out. I don't remember the phone even having a trash folder, but I'm gonna look and see. But I'm
Yeah.
going to double check that if it's even possible to even have a trash folder on a cell phone. But maybe some do.
I do believe that it is, but and that should have been suspicious, not but.
Right,
And
right.
that should have been suspicious to them that their conversation was in the trash.
In the trash folder, right? Yeah, and then all the other conversations is deleted. So that type of deal. So I want to see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Or if it was in the trash folder, why you didn't upload that into the report to match it up? That type of deal.
Right. Right. Oh my God. Okay. Here we go.
You may want to go grab his phone now and look at it.
You do whatever you got to do. I'm at your
I'll just
beck
fix
and
that.
call.
That's part of my investigation. I'm just messing up. I'll check that out.
Don't forget. Yeah. Don't forget.
Yes.
Okay. Here we go.
On June 22nd, 2021, just after 3 p.m., Daniel tells Caitlin, "The world can get better, but I'll have to take all the time I can, or we can, whatever to name it. I'll either see you again or never see you again." I also observed text conversation between Daniel and his sister Davisha from June 22nd, 2021, where Daniel tells her he has an emergency, and then he does not respond to Davisha's repeated calls and text, which is consistent with Davisha's description of Daniel's behavior on June 22nd, 2021. Cell phone data is still under review, and this report will be updated when completed. Processing of Jeep for possible evidence. On June 22nd, 2021, crime scene manager Prusik and Detective Sergeant Hanneman conducted further investigation of Daniel's 2017 Jeep Renegade. The vehicle was dusted for fingerprints and swabbed for DNA evidence. During the initial processing of the vehicle at the scene and this secondary processing for evidence, there were no notes or other items in the vehicle indicative of.
See, they playing that word game again.
Yep.
First of all, they so detailed about this young lady, but they failed to mention that I requested them to do that fingerprinting. That's the reason why they did it that day. If you ask yourself why they didn't do the fingerprinting on the scene, and they did it that day because I asked for that fingerprint to be done. First of all, second of all, that's why I'm saying they be careful for putting the stuff in the report when I have them saying in that meeting with them in that office they didn't do any forensics report, forensics on that scene. So what they did is they don't say what they done in that scene. Is that upon they kind of put that word game so they say make it appear to a person who is not really paying attention they did some type of forensic work at the scene. They didn't.
Yeah.
They told me they say they observed with no blood in the vehicle. I asked them why. Because I asked them why they didn't do any forensic work at the scene because you can look at the pictures. There's no markers there. There was no type of forensic work done. And the question was the Hanneman guy was saying that because he didn't observe any blood in the vehicle. I was like, well, how you know there was no blood in the vehicle? Saying because I know they have things where they can find out blood being white.
Right.
So they haven't done any forensic work at that scene. So they haven't done the scene, and they failed to mention that they only did the fingerprinting because I requested it. I demanded it, not just requested. I demanded. I was upset in that meeting, and I demanded that. So they failed to put those details in there to try to make it appear like they did some police work. Yeah, police work that fingerprinting should have been done on if they was investigated would have been done at the scene. It would have been
Yep.
done at the police compound after it being handled by a tow company. You can tell they handled it very poorly because the wheels was busted out on the vehicle. So that type of deal from the way they towed that vehicle. So I'm saying, that's the kind of stuff they put in the report that just designed to cover themselves. That's all it really is. But I just wanted to mention that, that type of deal.
I'm trying to get some crap off the screen. Yeah, they oh, there we go. Unstar that.
Oh, I see it.
I don't know what I was doing. Okay, there we go. Yeah, they just keep trying to twist it in their direction. Oh, I mean, that was just weird. You're gonna bring her up out of the clear blue sky and act like you did work that you really should have done, basically.
Right.
That's what it is. They realized, yeah, we should have done forensics. So in this last part, it almost sounds like they were doing it for the second time.
You're right, and you're right. That's what they're trying to make it appear like they did the first one, and they haven't. You know, so they haven't even done the first one. They probably weren't going to do the second one because, you know, it's weird because right after I walk out of that meeting, they immediately gave me the badge of my son's items in my hand. You know, hey, he said, hey, before you leave, I want to give you all your son's things. You know,
Wow.
I had to pop my trunk open and he met me around the building to give me my son's things. So why would you be doing fingerprinting unless you suspect foul play, right? Why would you be doing any kind of forensic work unless you suspect foul play, but at the same time,
Exactly.
you're giving all the evidence back to the parents? You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that don't really
It's
make
weird.
sense what you're doing. If you claim that you was doing some type of police work because you're trying to do, no, you did it because I asked you to do it. And you did it also because it'll make you look good. You can put that in a report. I did some fingerprinting, but any person can look at it and say, wait a minute, look at the date that you did the fingerprinting.
Right.
Then that found on the 19th and here it is 22nd. You're just now saying you're doing some type of forensic work on that vehicle. You know, those are kind of questions that you a person should ask. You know, so when they read the report, it's common sense. It just don't make sense. They just cover themselves, and they think the average reader to their report would not be asking questions. That's why I say with families, I'm going to keep repeating this. Whenever if I was to get this foundation going, for other parents help families help them, whatever you do, don't just let police departments put whatever they want to in the report without asking questions. You ask
Right.
questions, you stay on their behind, and you
Yep.
know stuff they're doing now. Because you had a session there, I saw some stuff they added, and that's why you saw me looking at the screen because it's not on this report. This is stuff they say they done after the fact, and that if they did those things, it happened because of the pressure of the community. It came from the constant putting pressure on that department to make them do some type of work. So I'm proud of that fact. When I look at certain things, say, yeah, they made them move. They made them because we look at the date of this report, and then they have lengthy stuff of other things they did. That's only because they did that spotlight on, like you know, people. You know, they had to do something. You know,
Yes.
so that's the kind of thing. But they'll still will do enough just to say, hey, I did this, but ultimately it's the same thing.
Yeah. Not everything they should do.
Right.
So I'm like, okay. Let's keep going.
We can do a part 2 if you need to. This is long.
No, I'm fine. Yeah, they just get on my nerves. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Follow up at blank. As previously mentioned, Daniel's bank record indicated that a charge posted to his bank account in the amount of $17.88 on June 24th, 2021. The store was listed on blank. It's about 4.3 miles from Daniel's apartment and right off the freeway.
Did you know anything about that?
What was that? The charges?
The charge that was on the 24th for 1788.
Right. The charge on the 24th. Okay, hold on a second. Let me back that up because I want to make sure. Yes, what it was is what it was taken as. Reason why it was a day after our son went missing. It was taken as because we talked to the location. I see they have redacted. I could tell you where. I know exactly where. First of all, it's not redacted here, but I know about that. Yes, the bank. They what it is, Detective Biff and them. That's what I'm saying. They haven't got no bank statements. They're looking at my phone, things like that. So what it is listed. You know how sometimes transactions take a while for it to actually hit your account, and they put the date there. That's the way it was listed. So when we had the amount when the place that he went without me telling what it is, that's when they charged the card, basically the date they charged the card. So that's what that basically is. That's all it is, a date. Apples, right? Okay. So I don't know why they put that in there in the first place because it was already established that it was a charge that he did before he went missing, but they actually, I guess, processed it on that date the way it was. But they put it in the report to make it seem like I guess he did something after the fact. I don't know.
Well, he's going to mention that in his experience, sometimes charges can post later and stuff, but it still leaves it open to interpretation
Right,
because he didn't clarify that, yeah, we looked into that and it was the fact that the charge was, it was processed a day later. He didn't clarify
right,
that.
right.
That's what he's about
Yeah,
to
we
say.
did verify that because we went through that, and I'm talking as a
Good.
family. I'm not saying with him, I didn't do that with the department, but we did verify that, and we did tell him that, hey, it was a charge that just reflected late, basically
Okay.
from the bank.
Because that had me freaking out. Okay, good to know. All right.
Right.
Did I move it? Oh, okay. I didn't change it. Here we go.
Keep going. Keep going.
Daniel's sister, Davisha, had previously stated to me that Daniel told her he went to the Waffle House on June 22nd, 2021. This was in the afternoon during the time when he had left his apartment after texting Davisha he had an emergency. Davisha explained to me that when Daniel returned to his apartment that evening around 7:30 p.m., he was wearing blue jeans and his navy blue blank world polo shirt. In my experience, the posted date is not always the date when the card was used, as it can sometimes take a couple of days to post to the account. The screenshot provided to me of the bank record did not show a specific time. On July 28, 2021, at about 3 in the afternoon, I went to the Waffle House and made contact with the manager, Matthew Blank. Matthew allowed me in the back to review surveillance video. Matthew's system did not retain the transaction information for Daniel's purchase. Upon reviewing video, I observed Daniel arrived at the Waffle House on June 22nd, 2021, at about 6:02 p.m., wearing the clothes that Davisha had described. Daniel was alone and had arrived on foot. Daniel sat near the jukebox until about 6:27, when he was then seated in a booth by server Madison. Daniel was alone the entire time. After eating his food, Daniel went to the register and paid his bill. He then returned to his booth and packaged his food in a to-go box. At about 7:10, Daniel leaves the restaurant with his food and walks out of view of parking lot cameras on the sidewalk. I checked the morning hours of June 23rd, 2021.
When you get a second, I just want to mention too, I actually requested copies of this video, right?
Yeah.
He told me that he couldn't get a copy of the video, but he provided me pictures. What he did, took his phone or whatever he did and took pictures of still shots of the video and gave that to me. You know what I'm saying? That's what I have. And I thought that was strange because I wanted to see the whole footage, which I'm still, all the stuff that you guys are hearing from them, I'm going to get that on the Freedom Information, but I'm getting all that kind of stuff later. But I want to tell you that a lot of that stuff that you're hearing was not known. Like, some things that say, hey, oh, this was happening, they driving that narrative. Those things was added because you look at this report, a lot of the stuff that's being discussed is not even in this report yet. So that means that they didn't have knowledge of the stuff just yet, if it's true. But some things there, like I said, was added. But the like the videos and stuff like that, I've been asking for that. I was just giving pictures of the video, itself, which is something that's a problem for me.
I don't understand that. If they can see it without a search warrant, then they should be able to share with you.
That's right. That's right. Yes. So obviously the Waffle House, and then all of that. The funny part is when they wrote that first part, and I say it was that charge that you was asking about. They didn't say what the location was. They saw they had that redacted out, and then they come back in the next sentence and tell you what the place is. It was the Waffle House with that charge. They put the date. So I'm saying they kind of did it in a way that if you're a reader, you'll think it's some other place that he did after he went missing. That type thing, which it was. It was that charge with what they're talking about right there. He's eating his food. the Waffle House did not charge his account until that date. So that's what that charge come from.
Wow. Okay, so they did that. Okay, got it. Yeah, they do that a lot, though. He in sentence it's redacted, the next one it's not.
And not, and
I,
just
I
like
just
they put that man's name out there like that and his date of birth stuff. Yeah, that type
yeah,
of thing. Yeah, yes.
they was really challenging my proofreading skills. I was like, F, 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 this whole report, just toss it in the trash, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my God. At one point they called Davisha a he. I was like, I'm really
They
done
call
now.
Daniel David. Yeah, I've seen that too. I just didn't say anything about
God.
that.
Like, slow down. This is somebody's life you are reporting on. Okay, keep going.
And up until noon on June 24th, 2021, and did not locate any more video with Daniel. I took photographs of the video screen, but was advised by the manager that I would need to contact their main security department in Georgia to obtain the actual video record. The number given to me was blank. Once the video is obtained, I will upload it to evidence.com. I have not received a copy of the video, but was able to upload screenshots to evidence.com. Interview with Madison. I then spoke with Madison. I explained to her who I was and that I was investigating a missing person. I showed her the flyer with Daniel's photograph and she recognized him. I then showed her the surveillance video and she remembered that day. I asked Madison to tell me what she remembered. Madison advised that she remembered Daniel was skittish, and when she tried to engage him in conversation, he did not talk to her. I asked her if he was skittish, like a nervous guy talking to a girl, or something else. Madison could not explain it, but said that he just seemed out of it and off. Madison also advised that she had seen him in the restaurant on previous occasions. While she didn't know him, she was able to say that his demeanor on 6/22/2021 was different. She did not have anything additional to add. Private Investigator Jeff Blank. I was advised that David Robinson was using a private investigator to assist with locating Daniel. On Blank, PI Blank came to Buckeye Police Department. I had been advised that he wished to obtain a copy of the crash data, which we downloaded from the Jeep. Since I was not available, Detective Champion met with PI Blank. I received a phone call from Detective Champion, and he advised that PI Blank wanted to conduct their own forensic download of the vehicle and additional downloads which could possibly cause damage to the vehicle. I spoke with supervisors and Detective Champion to coordinate with Mr. Robinson and PI Blank to have the vehicle released to their custody, where they could continue their investigation outside of our evidence facility. The vehicle was later released to PI Blank and Mr. Robinson. See Detective Champion's supplement. Follow up.
Yes.
Okay, we made it to page. What is that? Get off my screen.
With
Wait a
David.
minute.
Page 33. What you have?
Oh, this red line on my screen is in the way. What is that? 147.11. Okay. Oh, why can't I get this off? Oh,
I
there we
spoke
go.
with Mr. Robinson briefly through text.
35. 35.
Okay.
Just about to follow up with you on 35.
That's
So we can pick up whenever you're available. If you I closed the whole computer on y'all. I was done. Whenever you're available, if you want to do it next week in our morning session, or if you want to come back before that and finish it while it's fresh.
Anytime except for the weekend, of course.
Yeah. Because you got
Well, you'll search this weekend, but
your search, yeah. No, yeah, you need this weekend. We know we talked about that.
That's right.
Take
Yes.
that time. Well, we'll coordinate. We'll coordinate off behind the scenes and we did good. We got through an hour and 47 minutes, and it's 2 hours and 22 minutes, so not that much more to go.
That's right. I
Um,
want to say answer a couple questions before I leave for
yeah,
another 5 or 6 minutes.
go for it.
If anybody have any questions, they can throw. I don't see them. I don't see the questions, but I did see one pop up, and I wanted to answer, but I couldn't remember what it was. The lady
Can't
asked.
remember it.
But,
Well, I got Angelica Cole. Did Daniel ever mention being weary of anything or anyone in the desert, drug runners, etc.?
no, he didn't mention anything like that to me. I can't speak for his siblings or any of his friends, but I can't say on my behalf or anything anybody told me, family wise, or his, anybody associated with. No, I haven't heard anything like that.
Okay. And Gloria asked, and I don't think we do know Gloria, but if Caitlin had an ex-boyfriend that was jealous. Good question though.
And that was the biggest question I had for my son the night that he and I spoke of this young lady. Of course, as a parent, that's exactly what I was angry about. You spend the night being with someone that just meeting and everything like that,
We
and
don't know.
so that type deal. You don't know what's going on. I could tell you details of our conversation, but I would not. But it's just the fact that my son
Mhm.
definitely. Like as a parent, that's the first concern I had. It could be somebody out there. It could have been a jealous boyfriend, husband, or anything. I don't know. But
Yeah,
that's one of the questions I did ask my son.
it is probable. You got to be asking that question.
That's right. Yeah, I was a little
People are
uptight with him.
crazy.
I was uptight with him with that. I kept drilling him on it. That's something I would be, tell him be smart. He's too smart for that kind of decision. I get it. You got two young ladies you're a young man. They invite you in the house, and they, whatever would transpire. And I can see, you fall asleep or whatever the case may be, but you shouldn't be there, staying at somebody's house overnight.
Not that you don't know, not this day and age,
Right, right.
because you will mess around and seriously never make it home.
That's right.
Unfortunately, I'm still looking. Why in the? I can't read that one. Let me try to do it in slow
I'm trying to
motion.
find
Why?
some myself.
I couldn't know. I couldn't making sure I was reading it right. Why in evidence? Oh, it must have been something that was going on. Why in evidence when they don't think anything happened to him by way of foul play? I get what you're saying though, DeQuinta. Yeah, they made a lot of moves, especially like saying on in the report that he seemed like he was in danger.
That's
I
right.
mean, if he walked off to become a monk, that's not very dangerous. So
That's
they
right.
contradicted themselves.
Right. That's right. And the fact is, they building this whole narrative that my son was mentally unstable. He was having issues mentally, and then at the same time, we'll go to someone to say they feel like he's in trouble. That kind of deal. But then
Yeah,
they go out there and look for him as if he's an endangered person. He not have been once called in this case an endangered person, and that's a problem for me. If you really felt that my son is somehow in danger because you wanted to put all this in a report to make it feel like he was in danger, then why didn't you classify him as an endangered person? What I'm
exactly.
saying, you put your hand on sit on your hands. I was about to say something else. I know it was a show.
Yeah.
You put your hands on your hands and let the father do the work.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
you sit there and put these things in your report. Like what kills me is all the information they put about the phone record or the bank statement that came from us, me and my daughter, and that's came from a cell phone. Looking at cell phone, and like they say, when I think about it again, screenshot. So that type deal where things came from, not from their obvious work for actually going to these entities to get that stuff. They didn't have no paperwork from that. They told me themselves they had to have warrants for that type deal, which they was refusing to get.
Crazy. They should have said that in the report. It's misleading. Jan said, "You think maybe Daniel was given drugs, which caused him to act wonky, even if he wasn't?"
Well, that's something my former investigator kind of, that's one of the reasons why, well, anyway, he mentioned that, this one of
Ah,
those,
right,
working type theories.
right.
Sometimes, like, so I tell you guys before, some things I don't want to deal with that. But I know my son wouldn't do certain things. But
Right.
smoking weed, yes.
Right.
If what he smoked was laced with something, I do not know.
How
So
could
those
you?
type things we were looking into prior to him quitting on me. But saying we definitely was looking into that thing. I'm still possibly looking into that type stuff uh, because that is still a criminal act. So that will turn that into a criminal case regardless of the fact, because it's legal here. Marijuana is not illegal. It's legal
Yeah.
here.
Right.
And if
Right.
somebody was to have laced something like that, yeah, they should be prosecuted.
Yeah, absolutely. It's probable. It's probable. That I don't see any more unless y'all typing fast. Leslie said, "Thank you. You're welcome, boo." And Mr. Robinson, please
Thank
help
you.
find
Thank you.
Daniel.
Thank you.
Yes.
I just someone says is she related to certain people? Those things, everything we're looking into. I would not get too deep into what what I'm looking into, but we're looking into all kind of angles.
Beautiful. Yeah, have to. We just have to because personally, I think yes. I think that was Gloria that asked that, or
Right.
oh, I saw it earlier. It was two people that were on that
And
tip. I'm with
Janica
y'all,
also, yes.
Jan. Yeah, I'm with y'all all day on that. I just know David can't weigh in too heavily, but honey, when I tell you my radar went up as soon as I read Kate Lynn in the police report, I'm not lying to y'all. The moment,
Yes.
the very second is like, and Ken and Caitlin, they get my vote for something ain't right.
Yeah,
Tracy
and
said,
the
thank
sloppy
you.
police work on top of that. You got sloppy police work, sloppy stuff they put in the report, this lazy and half doing stuff, and this is just a result that you get, this type
Yep,
thing.
yep, you're right. They didn't think you were coming. That's what I think. They thought you were down there in South Carolina. Daniel was out here by himself, little college student. Nobody gonna really trip. And
Right,
then you showed up, and it was like, oh shit, we should
right,
have went to work.
right,
You
exactly.
knew. Yes, I do want the number. What is that GoFundMe number, girl? Before David has to get out of here. And David, you gonna drive safely. I know you
Oh
stayed a
yeah,
little
thank
longer.
you, thank you.
And I want you to drive carefully while I'm
Okay.
waiting on you.
Oh, go
You
ahead.
knew. Oh no, I was just saying you knew gonna tell us how much your GoFundMe is up to so far. And Tanya M's is just saying a prayer here. So I'm gonna pray this for you. God, I
Okay.
have faith. You will continue to guide and keep Mr. Robinson strong as he continues his journey, as he looks for his son, Daniel Robinson. In Jesus' name, I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Tanya. See there, she talking about Miss Q. I don't thank you for the wrench, but I don't know how to be a moderator. Just like that.
That's right.
Just like that. What's the number you knew? He got to go. And I want to know.
I would need
She
to know.
I
She's
know.
looking hard behind the scenes, so I appreciate that too.
Yeah, we keeping the crew updated. They like to know that total. It makes them excited
Right.
and happy inside when they can keep updated on the growth and the progress. We celebrate. We do fireworks. We get crazy. But you can listen in the background because that's what we're gonna do, and then I'm gonna wrap it up. So this
Okay.
will stay short enough so that people will actually get all the info. Oh,
Right.
here we go. Here we go. $201,324.
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yes,
Thank you
yes.
so
'Cause
much.
we just found out from John today it's going to be between 3 and 5,000 just for the phone forensics. So we need this number to keep moving for you.
That's
So
right.
I know
That's
you're
right.
not celebrating like you won the lottery or anything, but it's something else we can maybe check off the list.
That's right. Exactly. Exactly.
All right, you guys. I'm gonna let Mr. Robinson say his goodbyes though first.
Yeah, tell everybody thank you so much for joining in to allowing that time for me to go through this report. I did want to say that some of the things in the report I have for the first time heard that they put in that report. I stopped since the third report, stopped reading the report. So
Yeah.
some things in there I will be going through, kind of matching them up with the other three reports that I have, and see if there's any changes that's not consistent with the first report. So different things like that. But I will go through those reports, and I'll come back to you guys and let you know what I found. I'm grateful to be on with Miss Q to go through it, and I'm looking forward to us doing this again. So to finish it up and have to finish it up and go through some of those areas.
For sure. Yeah, we got because they're bringing in Jeff right now. So he's about to talk about the ignition cycles and all that good. Yeah, we want to double check that stuff. So like I said, we can do it again Thursday like this, or if you need to do it sooner while it's fresh, because I like to see that you're going through those reports, and I know you don't have time to sit down nowhere. So we sat you down. We got through almost all of it. This is going to help you overall.
With the timeline and everything else, and what they wrote, like that. So I kind of I do need that. And what we can do is, like I said, when we get off, we'll coordinate.
Yeah, because you don't have to do it alone. You had 25 or so people here doing it with you. So
that's right.
Ain't nothing like that right there.
That's right.
So
that's right. Thank you all.
You are welcome. You guys put some hearts and love in the chat. Mr. Robinson is out of here, and therefore so am I. But
thank you.
We'll see you soon. You are so welcome. And I will text you, or you text me. You're busy. You just hit me up later when you free up, and we'll go from there, okay?
I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
All right. My pleasure, y'all. Oh, Lord, I can't even breathe. I'm tired. Okay. Let me give us a little tune on the way out. But first, a prayer. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Don't forget to share and like, and drive carefully, David.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Almighty God, you are the only source of health and healing. In you there is calm, and the only true. Almighty God, you are the only source of health and healing. In you there is calm, and the only true peace in the universe. Grant to each one of us, your children, an awareness of your presence, and give us perfect confidence in you. In all pain and weariness and anxiety, teach us to yield ourselves to your never-failing care, knowing that your love and power surrounds us, trusting in your wisdom and providence to give us health and strength and peace when your time is best. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Prayers to all the sick and shut in.
That nobody ride with me, but I'm there when they need me. When the roles are reversed, it seems like they can't see me. Shit, this road ain't easy. I'm trying hard to keep my feet underneath me. I know the Lord will never leave me. I'm trying to keep the faith, I know my family need me. Send my mind off the baby Lee's teaching, and keep in mind that the devil will deceive me. I can never be defeated. How can I fall when I'm a lead? Shit, I'm living for a reason, and I won't be defeated. I'm living for a reason, living for a reason, living for a reason, and I won't be defeated. I'm living for a reason, living for a reason, living for a reason. They say troubles, they don't last long. Well, I don't know your time, and they seem to drag on. They last longer than a sad song. I wish they get their ass on and leave my ass alone. But I know that testimony I'm gon' brag on, and that holy matrimony I'm gon' stand on. But a man's only somewhere he can land on. And if I wasn't grown, shit, I would've ran home. 10 toes I stand on. In fact, I know I can, cause I made it out the band. Oh, man, I never ran. What the fuck you think I stand for? Sometimes you need a hand on 100 grand. Do you understand? Understand? And I won't be defeated.